He's coming. Hey, Chris.
Chris?
Do you remember us?
Yes. Yes.
See?
Okay. I see. I just put a moment there.
You look much different.
They, well, get the haircut every 2 months. Just buzz pretty much everything off and all that. So.
I'm trying to think, did you have a key last time? Okay.
They have like a little single blade razor, so I just kind of, you don't like go past the stubble, you just kind of.
Do the best you can, huh?
You just gotta go with that.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How about you guys?
Good. Good.
I did not expect to see this, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah, well, let me put some fears aside. We're not here for what you might think we might be here for.
But no, they didn't know what this, that's a computer room. I was like, I didn't know how to computer room.
Without computers.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you remember, I talked to you, Sammy talked to you, Dave talked to you. We're all in Colorado. And so the last time we talked to you was a different situation, right? Our investigation was open and your case was open. That's completely different now. So your case is completely closed. Nothing about what we're going to talk about today has anything to do with an open investigation. So we're not here to get more charges on you or get any statements from you that are going to jam you up anymore. Right? That's all done. So all of our cases are closed and the court case is closed. So there's nothing that we're going to talk about today that's going to get you any type of trouble at all. And so that's, I wanted to make sure you knew that's not why we're here.
Okay.
But why we are here. So the three of us work from 3 different agencies, right? Quite a bit different. CBI, FBI, and Frederick. Different goals. And the things that happened with you kind of all brought us together. And as the months have passed on, since everything happened, we just keep in touch with each other and we keep talking to each other. And we've all separately kind of said, did Chris seem unique to you? And me and Tammy have talked about this, Dave and I have talked about this. Did Chris's situation seem different to you? And we keep having that conversation. We can't quite put our finger on it, right? We think that your life leading up to all the things that happened were very interesting to us. And for me personally, I don't know if you remember, but one of the last things you told me was, hey Graham, I'm sorry that I started lying to you. And that stuck with me for the last couple months. It's ringing in my head, right? I've never ever worked a case like this where someone told me that ever. You know, and so as I walked away, I thought, Chris is different. Chris is a little bit unique in that regard. So in talking with Tammy and talking with Dave, I said, you know, what did you feel like when it all went down? When we were there, when we were talking to you guys, and we all kind of, in our own different way and in our own different wording, said it all happened a bit too quick for us, right? So when we saw you last, we were talking and talking and talking about your family, about your parents, about everyone. And then the next thing you know, for me and Tammy and for Dave, all of a sudden some patrol officers came in and arrested you. And that was far quicker than we had hoped would happen. And you understand why that happened, and we understand why that happened. But it left us with 1,000 questions that we didn't get to ask. And then even more importantly, I think it probably left you with 1,000 things that you didn't get to talk about with us. I don't know if you feel that way or not, but, and so that's why we're here today. We wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit more about everything, you know. I think there's a lot of things that you didn't get to talk about. And so, you know, that's why we're here. And it sticks with me that to this day, there's not one person that's told me, I saw it coming. I knew Chris was like that. I knew it. Not one person. So it's interesting to me, right? Not one. So we want to talk a little bit about that. Some of the people that we work with, your family, Janan's family, have said, you know, if you get to talk to Chris, would you tell him some things for me? So we have that to talk about today, and it's good. I think you'll like it. I think it will give you some closure. And so really that's why we're here. Are you available to talk to us?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. So off the bat, if you have any questions, just tell us.
Okay.
If there's something that you don't want to talk about, that's okay. We might press you a little bit. Okay, we might say, Well, do you mind if we just maybe then ask one question? Something makes you uncomfortable, just tell us. If we need to take any bathroom breaks, if we take bathroom breaks, or anything like that. And we'll take bathroom breaks and water breaks ourselves too. So then, is there anything about your schedule today that makes it that you can't talk to us?
No, that there's like a pass for this and the AM and the PM.
Okay.
Yeah, they reserve the room the whole day.
Oh,
just
okay.
in
That's
case.
just what they do.
Okay, I
Yeah.
thought that was like two separate things or something.
I think you have to go back for lunch to get accounted for or something.
Oh.
Accounted for.
Yeah, I think
11:30.
lunch is- Yeah, lunch is like 11, but they count for like 12:15. So
So in general, how is it here?
it's a lot different than Colorado.
Is it?
Good or bad?
It's better, I think. 'Cause, I mean, it's here. I'm actually around other people. I mean, in Colorado, it was just like I was segregated, and it was counting on the walls all night, screaming, and it was telling me.
From other people?
Oh,
Really?
my they're just telling me like how I should kill myself and like what they're gonna do to me and just like all that kind of stuff. So it was, today, this is a lot different because I mean, people here they don't seem to. It's not like they don't care, but it's just kind of like they don't like judge you as soon as you walk in. Colorado was like they knew why I was there and that was it. It was like they had one second along with me. It would have been
Really?
there.
Geez, man. Must be out there.
Out of like Will County Jail. I don't know what it was like in DOC there, but like they had to lock down the jail for me to walk down the hallway.
Wow. It will? So they had to make sure you were completely separated from anyone else. Jeez.
Wow.
Like I didn't see anybody else there. Like I was in the cell next to somebody, but like I never saw them.
You just hear them.
How do they know who you were?
I don't know. I just they make phone calls in there too.
Oh, okay.
And they got the newspaper in there before I got in there. So
Yeah. How's, have you been able to talk with family?
oh, yeah, definitely. Like we get from 6 p.m. to 7:30. That's I might miss time out. So we get to use the phone at that point in time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And do they charge you for it, or?
Oh, it's just like it's like $6.
Mhm.
Okay. And how do you make money to pay for that?
They put money on the phone.
Oh.
So if I call, like, if I was like to dial somebody's number, they have to have like a phone account set up.
Oh.
Otherwise, it's just restricted.
And then so who you call pays for it?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Have you been able to talk to like family members and parents and all
Yeah,
that?
my mom and dad, my sister.
Okay. Good. Is that a good thing?
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't hear from me. They're like, oh, what's wrong? What's going
Oh,
on?"
good. And how is it with them?
And so far, so good.
Yeah. Yeah. It was hard to hear your parents and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were gonna say.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And so, yeah. I really appreciated what they said. I don't know about you.
I definitely was. I didn't expect them to be there. I knew they were there on the 6th, November 6th, but I didn't expect them to fly back, and they wanted to fly back for that.
Yeah. And then a lot what your mom said.
Definitely.
Yeah. Good. Well, so we have 1,000 questions. I'm sure you do too. Do you care if we start, or do you have any questions for us?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So one of the things that we're battling with is, and I won't make any assumptions today. So, are you aware that this was a national story?
After a little while, it was. I didn't talk to my parents while I was in Colorado
Okay.
because my attorney team told me, all right, no phone calls, no letters, no nothing.
Okay.
So like I made one phone call when I was in the segregation area there, but my dad thought it was like somebody somebody trying to call.
Oh.
So he didn't answer?
Yeah, so he didn't answer. But other than that,
Okay.
I didn't talk to anybody. But from what some of the deputies were saying, or my attorney team coming in and said, this is like they've got people from Australia, England, and all kinds of people trying to figure out what's going on. So.
Did they send you any of the letters, like family or anything? Well.
I got letters, but I couldn't keep them like with me, so like I could read them like on my hour out. But it's like I got a bunch of letters that had no return address, stuff that was just not very good letters.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. they came from a weird perspective, didn't they? From what we have heard.
Definitely. There was one person, I guess, in Broomfield that was like writing like 4 times a week trying to come visit me, and then there was just a lot of people like writing notes like leak through markers saying, you know, like you're a monster, all kinds of weird stuff.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about some hard issues today, but I don't intend to take you to a dark place today.
Okay.
I hope that when we're done, you'll feel better. It'll be therapeutic. We're going to talk about, obviously, what happened with your family, and so that's going to be hard to talk about. I appreciate anything you can tell me about it. If you need to take time out, if you need to get a tissue, that's fine, right? I think it'll be very good for you. It'll be good for us. And so one of the reasons I asked about that national attention is we were aware that you were getting a lot of letters, a lot of interest, and then us personally as law enforcement, we got so many people who claim to have known you, claim to have been with you, dated you, slept with you, and 99 times out of 100 they were just crazy people, right? And so maybe that's a good place to start. Had you heard about any of that?
John Walsh told me about one dude from Wyoming.
Trent?
Yeah, that guy. That blew my mind. I was like, who the hell is this guy?
And who told you about that?
Attorney John Walsh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we talk about him?
Yeah.
Graham and I interviewed him.
You had to?
Yeah.
The way of our lives.
Yes.
So Trent, in summary, Trent came in and said, met you online on a dating app, had a few, casual but quick sexual encounters with you. And let me be very clear. Not only are we not here to jam you up today, we're also not here to judge you. And if there is anything like that, you can imagine we've heard way worse, way different, So if it's true, I hope that you can just casually say, yeah, I mean, this happened. It wasn't as bad as he said, but maybe this happened. So his story was met online, met you, and it was a time when you were experimenting with naked men. And so he said he met a couple times, met his friends, went to an apartment, had a couple of meetings in a parking lot, and that was basically it. Any of that sound familiar? Okay.
No, I never met the guy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he talked about being in your truck with your girls, like the whole 9 yards. So.
Okay.
I've never even been to Wyoming, let alone driven up there to see someone.
Yeah. And so this is maybe a weird question for you. Do you have any gay experience?
No.
Okay. Any interest?
No.
Okay. Never had a time, experimented, wondered?
No.
Okay. Is it possible that he found you instead of you finding him?
From what John told me, he found me on like a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I don't even have that app.
Okay.
He has my phone, so
Okay.
you can probably,
Yeah.
you can probably saw what app I had. I've never even heard of the app, but
Okay.
apparently, like, he told me, like, I met him through, like, a rehab center or something.
Is that what he said?
No, that was another guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was totally, I had no
So
idea.
did you see a picture of him on the news or anything?
John showed me a picture of him.
Okay.
He was like, this guy? I'm like, John was kind of, making fun of, like, sure. I'm like,
So you saw it and you were like, no way.
Yeah, it was-
Big lips, did you see the giant lips?
Yeah, it's like, I have no clue.
And he's somewhat memorable. I mean,
Yeah.
If you met him or talked to him or got to know him, you might remember. He was kind of meek,
Yeah.
but also a little bit flamboyant.
Mhm.
Yeah, he did fake lips, or not fake lips, but injections. Was very into skincare and makeup. And he mentioned that one of the times, as a gift, you got him some skincare products.
Mhm.
Does any of that sound familiar?
No.
Okay. You can imagine all the stuff we're dealing with. Okay, so that's one.
Mhm.
Trent Bowles. There was another gal that you were dealing with.
Amanda McMahon. Have you ever heard that name? No.
John showed me a picture of her.
Okay.
Oh, you did see a picture of her too?
Yeah, he had like,
Does that look familiar?
that's the same picture he showed me on the
Okay.
MSO one. I was looking, I was like, who's that? He's like, oh, you don't know her either?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
He said it was like a Chick-fil-A parking lot rendezvous or something.
Right.
And that's just not
That's
true.
what she's telling me.
Okay.
I only went to one Chick-fil-A in Colorado. That was the one in Broomfield, Highway 7.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay. do you feel comfortable enough today to tell us if there were other people?
Yeah, it was just Nicole.
And that was it? Okay. As these people have come out, for the most part, we've not given their stories much credit. They're just crazy people who want attention. And so, but when that does happen, it does make us think, there may have been others. So Nicole was the only one?
That was the only one.
Was there ever like a one-night stand with someone else out of the blue and one and done?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you mind if we talk a little bit more about Nicole? So walk me through it, because that was one of the things we never really got to ask you about.
Right, we didn't
just
talk
kind of skipped on and talked about where the girls were. Okay. So what happened there?
So it was probably around June 1st or something. That's when I first met her. And it was just like a work conversation. She messed with the gas meters that, we were out in the field. And I was messing up, and then, I took it to her like, hey, what's going on with this? How do I fix it? And, after that, we just ran into each other a few times in the office. And I think it was probably the fourth time meeting. She had asked me, because like when we were talking back and forth, I would say, when we moved here from Colorado, or from North Carolina and stuff like that, and then she was like, what's all this weed stuff become? Like, I took out my phone and showed her a picture, like, my girl's on the phone. It's like, oh, okay. She's like, seriously? I was like, yeah. I was like, I didn't wear a ring to work, because like I couldn't obviously get refitted when I lost all that weight. So, but
You lost so much weight that your fingers lost weight?
it was literally like I was out in the snow one time. I went like that, and my ring went off in the rocks. So I was panicking trying to find it. Like, man, what is that? But so after that, she left me alone for a couple of days, and she texted me outside the field. And then after that, we just kept texting back and forth, and it was just like she used to work in a little rig out in North Dakota, I think. And we just kind of trading stories back and forth, what we did and everything. And then one day, it just kind of went to a different level, and then I never thought it would ever go to that level, but she was talking about meeting up after we got back from San Diego. We go to San Diego from the 22nd to the 26th of June, and we met up after we got back, and
How did you guys meet up?
at a park in Thornton. Thornton somewhere. And after that, we just kept seeing each other pretty much the whole month of July.
So let me ask you this. You tell me if I'm wrong. You strike me as somewhat of a shy person. So when you guys were meeting, it was just kind of very initiatory, like flirting at first? Okay. From both sides?
Yeah. It was just kind of like feeling each other out. It's kind of like
and so, texts, any calls?
more near the end of June.
Okay. And what makes you remember that it's June that it happened?
Because we called each other before I left to go to San Diego.
Oh, okay. All right. At first, did you think something might happen?
I just thought it was just flirting. I didn't think it was actually like something that would actually happen.
Yeah. Well, that's totally natural, right? I mean, everyone kind of flirts at work, right? Because the relationship between men and women is different. So if you're working with a girl at work, it's just kind of natural to flirt.
I wish I was down in the field more instead of at the office. It was
I can kind of see it in your eyes. That's kind of where the path started, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if I was like, because when I went from like a rover to a field coordinator, like I would spend more time in the morning time in the office trying to get everything like situated where we're going to go, everything like that. And, if I was a rover, I'd be more out in the field instead of like coming to the office like for more than an hour.
Right.
And it just gave me more time to run into her, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. What did she know about you? Did she know you were married at first?
She did, once I showed her the pictures on my phone. I was like, the home screen pictures.
So was your wife in that picture, or was it just your girl?
It was just my girls right there, but my wife was the lock screen.
Oh.
So she knew I was married, I did.
Okay.
Are you aware that she didn't know you were married? What did you think about that?
I figured it was like, just trying to, same page, trying to, I was just trying to, something my sister said, it was like, just trying to keep things together.
Yeah.
Just trying. She phrased it a different way, but it's just kind of like it's like ground control, is trying to control everything that's going on around her. Because I'm sure she got bombarded by all kinds of different sides from the media and everything. So.
Did you talk to her at all? No.
I'm hoping she hasn't written me in a different alias or something. I'm not talking to her that way.
Oh.
And are you not allowed to talk to her?
I would hope that.
Okay. No one told you that then?
No, I mean I would expect I thought in Colorado it said on the DOC list if you're on a victim list you can't call anybody.
Oh, right.
But here I'm not sure if that's the thing. But I just talked to my sister, parents, some friends of my parents.
Do you wish you could talk to her?
Maybe once just to
Get some closure?
say hey, just once.
Yeah.
Just to say I'm sorry this all happened. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what happened afterwards, what you went through. If you have counseling, if you're different state, if you had to leave everything behind. I just wanted to let you know I'm sorry, and that's something that just not happening or happening to somebody else either.
Would you be alright if we told her that?
That's fine.
Do you want us to? Do you want us not to?
And if she would want to even talk to you guys, I'm not sure. I'm sure she answered your phone call more than the attorney phone call that she didn't want to go answer. Yeah.
Oh, so your attorney tried to call her and she wouldn't answer?
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause I remember her phone number, but after that they figured out, I guess, where she lived. They left a call business card there. And she just pretty much after the 5th attempt, she said stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's getting bombarded like everyone else, so.
And hopefully it's calmed down since, but I'm sure I just hope she can move, unless there's normalcy for her since she's on the outside, but I'm hoping it can get that way at some point. I'm not sure if she had to leave Colorado or not, but I'm sure that would have been hard if she did.
Mhm.
So I know that NARCO wasn't being about, so that's the one thing I always asked my attorneys is did she have to leave? Did she have to do anything at work? Because that was one thing. She always told me that was her dream job. So.
Mhm.
Oh, really? Yeah. Where did she leave?
In the oil company in the dark, I was unless you're working for BP or Dr. Phillips or something.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
In the dark, I was
Big leagues.
yeah.
Can I ask kind of a tough question?
Yeah.
Did you love her?
I felt like it was true.
Yeah. I think so too. I think it was the same from her. Okay. Tell us about the time you spent here.
I mean, it felt like it was, I think, when you say, more like a sky guy, it's kind of I've never, been pursued by anybody before. It's kind of I was the one, trying to pursue, because, when me and Shanann met, it was she was always, pushing me away, kind of,
She was sick for a while, right?
she had just got diagnosed with lupus, and she was on, a bunch of different medications and stuff, and, it was, I guess I wasn't her type.
You weren't her type?
I wasn't her type. Cause she told me when she first, because we had met. She told you that? Yeah.
You're not.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, it was when we first met, it was at a movie theater. My cousin's ex-wife set us up.
You were dressed like shit, weren't you?
I
think that's what you told me.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
They weren't having a game.
She was fancy and he was in shorts and tennis shoes or something, right?
I should know the doorman, was in a suit. And I was just this isn't good.
Was it a theater?
It was a fancy theater, right?
It was in Charlotte. It was called the Epicenter, and apparently they give you champagne and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, this is a fancy date night theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he came like he was going to a Cinemax.
I was going to a bar.
Like an AMC.
Theater. No, it was you just watch the normal movie, but you can drink champagne and have get Jack and Coke beside the theater and just sit there and whatever, but like, yeah, when she first saw me, she was like, I should probably just turn and talk to the bartender a little more. Like, no, I'm not you're here to meet. But yeah, like, I was like persistent trying to pursue something. I liked her, and even on the first day, like, I couldn't even eat anything, really. I was just like, you know, just nervous. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she was just like, you know, chowing down, and she was like, you're like a bird. I'm like, oh, and she talked to my parents, like, you know, months later, she's like, this guy just never ate. I'm like, this guy eats like a trash disposal. This trash disposal. I was like, no, not around me. I was like, well, I was nervous. I was just like, I was always like shaking and everything. But, yeah, I was always pursuing her, and then just like, finally I grew onto her, like, you know, I was always like with her medications and stuff, I would always, like, she had like 8 bottles of medications, so I would always get like her day and night and kind of like put them all in that little, you know, flip open and go box, you know, all that kind of stuff, and you know, I would always, you know, be around her. I even went to her colonoscopy, and she said after that she knew that was like kind of a keeper. It's like, you know, like, who goes to a colonoscopy after 3 months with somebody?
It's a little soon.
Well, she asked if she needed a ride. I'm like, yeah. She's like, you want to go colonoscopy with me? I'm like, sure, why not? Like, even sat with her while she drank that nasty stuff all day. Yeah.
Oh. Where she's in the bathroom all day?
that clear stuff that doesn't really taste clear. Yeah, but yeah, it was, I mean, it was a great relationship. Everything was great.
Now you're talking about with Kissinger?
No, with Tom Elson, and like the first year, you know, like, yeah, my parents never. I don't know. My mom was always kind of hesitant.
Why?
I was the baby, I guess. I never, you know, because I never had a girlfriend in high school, so it's kind of like she never like really saw me like.
Oh, interesting. So she's kind of watching her baby walk out a little bit.
Yeah, because I turned 18. I graduated. I never moved back.
Okay.
At home, so my sister moved back and forth. So,
how old were you when you met Shanann?
I was 25. It was 2010. So.
Okay.
So no serious girlfriends before that?
Nothing more than like 6 months or so. Yeah, there was some girls here and there, but just nothing more than like. The last girlfriend I had before Shanann, she was just actually got divorced, and I should never did that. But it was more of like I was kind of like helping her get through her divorce. It seemed like she went on to somebody else. I'm like, oh, nice to know.
You're the rebound guy?
The rebound guy.
Pretty much. But you know, that's how it goes.
Would you say that in your relationships with women, it seems to me, and you tell me if I'm wrong, it seems to me like you're attracted to maybe a more dominant personality?
It seemed like it, because I'm more of the just reserved. I mean, I just kind of like go with the flow type.
Yeah.
And like, Shanann usually made all the decisions, it seemed like, so.
I get that, I'm the same. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I don't think that's right with you, but.
So then, and I know it's hard to keep bouncing back and forth, but and one of the reasons we're here is we just keep telling ourselves, Chris does not fit the mold. Chris is not.
No.
Like it just blows us away what happens, right? And so we will do a little bit of bouncing back and forth, and that's really just to get to know you a little bit better, because we never really got that chance, did we?
We met you twice.
Yeah.
Met you once.
Yeah.
Probably like 3 or 4. Maybe 3 or 4 times, probably.
So then do you call her Nikki or Nicole?
I would call her Nikki.
Okay.
I know there's so many Nickies and Nicoles in this.
Right, there is.
I got confused.
So we'll call her Nikki. So then with Nikki, was it different?
It just seemed like I was more in control, it seemed like, and that never happened. And, like, she'd actually like ask me like my opinion on a lot of things, and just like what I wanted to do, and just kind of like, okay.
That was new, wasn't it?
Very new.
That's fascinating to me. And so did it feel more like an equal partnership, or?
It seemed like it.
Yeah. Okay. So then, when it was date night, would you guys talk about it? Would you ask to go somewhere, or would she say, I want to go somewhere? Was it too fast?
The first time we went out, it was to a movie over at the Orchard, about 44th over there, and I asked her, like, hey, you want to go see this movie? And, like, she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. And then we got there, it was sold out, and, normally we'd probably just have, just wait 2 hours, like, not just go home, but not, she just wanted to walk around and just talk. And, okay.
Oh, wow.
So that was different, and, I think she wanted to go to the car museum, Shelby Museum in Boulder. I've never been there. And
That's right up your alley.
Yeah. I was like, that was awesome, just to walk around cars for like an hour or so. And then, drag race in Vandermeer.
Okay.
And I haven't been to a drag race since 2008. And that was in Charlotte.
Okay.
Like a feeling drag strip over there. And it's like the NHRA, the Top Fuel, fun car stuff like me and my dad used to grow up.
Yeah.
Go there like all the time. And then like went to camping in Sand Dunes National Park, and I'd never been camping. I always wanted to do it. Thought it was she'd done it like countless times.
Oh, really? Okay. She's outdoorsy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess every time like she needed to clear her head, she'd just go by herself. Just go somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
But she's a completely new type of person in a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What were you thinking this whole time? Like, in the back of your head?
In the back of my head, I was just telling myself, what are you doing? Like, every time, I'd open up my phone, I could see pictures, like, of my wife and my kids, and it's like, what am I doing? And then, like, every time I was with her, it seemed like I didn't think. It seemed like it was like a blinder over my face.
Oh.
And like every time I look back on it, like like I have pictures of my wife and kids and myself, and like every night, or every morning, every night, just talk to them, say like I have like this book. I used to read for CC, and I remember that book, so I read that to them like every night, and like there's some scripture and stuff that I read to them, so I just try to think back, like, I wish this never happened. And it's like, I wish that blinder wasn't on my head, right in my eyes. That would have seen what was going on. Like, I was having, everybody says, oh, you're just out there having fun while your kids, or kids and wife are on vacation. I'm just like, no, it wasn't like that, but it seemed like that's what it looked like. When you're going, you're going to camping, going to drag race, going all this other stuff that you have fun doing, but you're with somebody else. It's not your family. It just didn't seem right. I was with her. It just didn't seem like I could even see that anymore. I was there at her house pretty much every night. So it was like I didn't have that time at home just to really think about anything. Because literally, I didn't. Like, I was only at home from like when I got home from work. I worked out, I ate dinner, and then I went over to her house. Like I never slept in my house in like the whole month of July.
Now, talk me through that though. When you said you went home and then you were at her house, was that while Chanel was gone? Oh, okay. So you weren't even at your house.
No.
This all happened so quickly, didn't it?
It was insane quickly. Like I didn't she even told me like she was never in like a normal relationship. She would never have somebody over at her house like more than like once or twice a week, but she felt like she wanted me over there. Yeah. She said she felt comfortable over there. Yeah. So it's just like that's what was different. Like she wanted me over there. But I just wish that all that could just go away. I just wish I almost like I know it's hard to, I know it's wrong to say I wish I'd never met somebody, but I wish I'd, maybe met her at work and then just kept it that way.
I think if we had a time machine, I don't think this would happen again. Because some people, when this happens, you're like, well, if it wasn't this time, it would have been next time, or it would have been the next time. It just wouldn't have happened with you, would it? And it happened so quickly that, you tell me if I'm wrong, you're not the type of guy to take control sometimes when you need to. Yeah. It seems like that's just what happened.
Yeah, I didn't take control of the situation. It's like the situation controlled me.
Right, it just happened. I get that, man. I'm somewhat passive myself, and it's like, there's situations where I'm like, why did I let that keep going?
Yeah. I don't know why. It was like a roller coaster ride that I just kept punching and kicking on, and I just never picked it up.
Can we talk about the hardest subject? When we were talking, the last time we talked about was where the girls were, but we never really got to talk about that night. What happened?
So nothing really happened that night. It was in the morning.
Okay.
It was, you know, me and Jeanette, she got home like at 2 o'clock. And, you know, I felt her get in the bed. And I just felt like I really didn't make sure I looked at my phone at 2 o'clock to make sure she was okay. She's in there. And I could kind of feel her kind of stirring around a little bit. And, I just had a feeling that she knew like what was going on. I mean, obviously, I didn't use like my NRCO gift card, you know, that I got, and I used my actual credit card, and I kind of just felt like she knew what was going on, and she started rubbing her hand on me, and we ended up having sex. But I guess that was more like a test.
Oh,
I would have thought.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because when we talked, when I woke up later on in the morning, like, you know, I pretty much, you know, told her, like, you know, I didn't think it was going to work anymore. And she was like, what was last night, you know? After that's the test, after I've gone through everything in my head. And she just told me, you know, like, to get off of her. And she's like, I knew there was somebody else, and there was somebody else, and there was somebody else. I couldn't just say, yes, there is somebody else, but then she's like, never going to see the kids again, never going to see them again, get off me, don't hurt me.
Is that what you said?
So, because like when I climbed in bed, that was pretty much like on top, pretty much like straddling her kind of deal.
Okay.
And she thought I was gonna, like, you know, hurt her or hurt the baby or something. Because she knew that, like, you know, something had happened. She thought I was just trying to, you know, just check out or something. So, and that's when that happened.
I know it's hard, but do you mind if we talk just a tiny bit deeper about that? So she comes home. You know, she touches him, you guys have sex. It seems like she's doing her test, which I understand. Sounds like you do too.
I'm sure, like, you know, Nikki or Cole Atkinson or Cass probably told her, you know.
That's what I was thinking, right? They talked about it during that whole weekend.
More than likely, that's my parents told me there was like going through like text messages. It's like all like pretty much they all kind of just told her with somebody else.
Yeah. And she spent a lot of time with the gals. What they did probably all weekend is talk about it, give her advice. I think that's what we found, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she comes home. You guys have sex. And then did you fall asleep between then and going to work?
Yes.
Okay. So then at some point, does she wake you up or did you wake up for work? Oh, okay. And you're going to work out. But that's when she started wanting to talk more. She was pretty mad? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I had already kind of knew that. Using that credit card, it was kind of,
Was that intentional?
Yeah.
I had no other way to do it.
Oh.
You know, I used, like, because I got these NRCO gift cards from, like, you know, doing good stuff at work and stuff like that, and I'd use them all.
Oh. What's part of it was like, screw it, whatever, I don't care. I'm using this card.
Part of me just wants to say, Nick, you can pay for this. But I just, yeah. Even I think my attorney said she even knows I used a different card, like a blue card. And maybe she thought, you know, like I felt comfortable enough to use them on the bank account or something. But you know, and I told her I was going to Rocky. I told you I was going to Rocky.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, it felt like, you know, like looking back at everything, like just like reading the scripture more and more now, I can see, like, you know, God gave me opportunities to get out. Like even my friend Jeremy Lindstrom, he even invited me because like it was his daughter that came and watched the kids on that Saturday night, And he was like, hey, you Senator, we're going to a Rocky game. You want to go to me with the Bronco game and watch the Arizona Cardinals? He's like, in my mind, it was like, you know, just say, hey, I can't find a babysitter.
Finicky.
Yeah. And maybe that would have been like, you know, like a light switch in my head goes off, light switch in her head goes off, maybe it just like goes different directions. That was kind of like my last like opportunity to kind of get out. It seems like 'cause I wish I would have said, yeah, let's go. Yeah. And I think that would have just put me on a different trajectory.
So then, Shanann, did she actually say you're never going to see the kid again?
She said that to me before.
Yeah. That's kind of hard to hear.
Yeah, because she said to me before she went to Arizona. She's like, I wasn't really sleeping in the bedroom, I was sleeping on the couch or in the basement bed or something, and like she had slammed the door, you're never gonna see the kids again. Yeah.
Did she get fiery like that?
Only once in our entire relationship I was near that way.
Yeah. And that was a time before, or was that on the night that happened?
No, it was right back in North Carolina.
Oh.
It was just like one of those, it was just a fiery argument that I never raised my voice to her or anything, and like, you know, I just got mad and I slammed the door, and she's like, I'm like, just slammed the door.
Was that when you were in North Carolina that last week?
No, it was like,
Previous to
it
that?
was like 2010, 2011.
Oh.
It was like early. In her old house.
Before kids?
Yes.
Were you dating or were you married at that point?
Dating.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just like, I don't remember what it was about. I think some girl maybe texted me like from my past or something, and like I was just like, ugh. And she was like, you know, don't have that happen again. And I'm just like, I have friends, like females, like I don't even talk to this woman anymore.
Right.
And it was just like, no.
Was she fiery? Did she have that Italian blood that her mom had?
Lord, yes.
Was she always like that, or was she? Did she snap at things?
She would snap at me, but you could tell, like, you know, something really irked her a little bit.
Yeah.
It would come out.
0 to 100 type thing, or what?
Yeah, 0 to 200.
Oh, interesting.
She gets activated about something. She's like, all right, it's gonna happen.
Well, that's why she was probably so successful at Thrive, right?
Oh yeah, like she had done a couple other like direct sales business, but this one was just like it was different.
Why?
This one like, so I think she had done like Origami Owl and like something called like It Works, and then like other couple other things like some bags and stuff like that with the supplement stuff. And just because it worked with her, it worked with me. She's like, okay, I can kind of like use this as like, all right, this is what it's doing for us.
Yeah.
And then like after a little while, like she could see how like people are above her, how it was helping them, and then it was just like trickle down effect. It was like a good system about like, you know, commission wise and everything was just, she could use all the business IQ she has from running those cell phone shops and from dairy shop custom shops and all that. And she's business minded. Yeah, she knows how to do accounting for it like the back of her hand. But all just like fell into place with all that.
So then on that night, was it just a new type of fight?
It was
Never had, or what happened?
Yeah, it was a totally different type of fight. It was, you know, it was just felt like, I don't know, there was more anger than anything else. Like there was emotion to it at first, and it just felt like it was just anger. It was just like, you know, like there was no love there. It was kind of like what we were saying, what she was saying. It was just like it's almost like we knew like something was competing at each other. We didn't know, like it wasn't ourselves.
Really? Anger from you or anger from her?
I think it was more anger from me and more like desperation from her to, cause she wanted it this week. Yeah. She knew something wasn't right. Like, you know, like when the whole thing with my parents happened with my parents called it Nutgate. Nutgate.
What's that?
The peanut.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, with her family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pistachio ice cream or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, they
Nutgate.
call it Nutgate.
I haven't heard that.
I haven't heard that either.
Yeah, I guess what people call it.
Okay.
But that was like another outlet, you know, maybe I could have just like stopped everything with Nikki and just kind of concentrated on helping like whatever happened there. Because like, Shannon had a story, my mom had a story. Like, you know, whatever happened, I'd probably ask my 10-year-old nephew, probably can tell me what actually happened.
Well, they both have their feelings for good reasons, and they both didn't see it the other person's way. And
Yeah, and like maybe because I didn't talk to my parents from then on until like August 6th. And like, you know, my dad took that whole week off.
Wow, that's your parents from then on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like, Janelle was like, do not talk to them, do not call them, do not do anything.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. And Cece's birthday was 17th, but I think the actual birthday party was like a couple days after.
In August?
July. Yeah. And like my mom or my dad was gonna go, but then there was like a post on Facebook about, you know, allergies and stuff like that she had made, and I was like, no, I just can't do it anymore. Just like,
He perceived that as her taking a shot type thing?
yeah.
Okay.
And she always says she never, you know, put those posts directed at anybody, but she had a method.
If you read them, you know who from
Yeah,
the talking about.
she had a method to the madness, and you can see it. But I wish I could have just took more time just to fix that. Because like I wanted my parents to be involved, like since, you know, like the whole wedding thing, and then up to that, it was like, you know, my mom and my sister were always like, you know, combating with Shannon, combating with them. My dad was always cool. Like, he's just like me. He's just like, you know, go with the flow. Like, I just want everybody to get along type deal.
Chicks,
I
man.
love your dad.
Oh, he's the best.
Isn't he? I
So-
love your dad.
I'm sorry, keep going.
That's cool. I just wish I could have, like, just when we were in the beach in August, like my dad was supposed to take through the whole week off just so we could see the kids and like see meetings, like we had to pick out my sister's house or something. And then, but we just pretty much spent 5 days at the beach, and Shannon like booked it so like, I mean, I don't want to say like punishment for them not to see the kids, but like I wanted them to see it and see them. You know, I wish I could have fixed all that. You know, I even like when I was at the beach, I told Shannon that it was more like what was going on was more of like I feel like, you know, cause my dad's here, I feel like I've lost like something in my life. I haven't been talking to him for 3 weeks. And I haven't been to the kids for 3 weeks, you know, FaceTime or anything. And I wanted them to be able to have that relationship again. And she was pretty much gung ho, and like she tried to tell my daughter I'd given her pink. I was like, I don't think she gave it.
And that was that her stance, is that your mom...
Put something in front of Cece.
Like to kill her, or
No,
to-
just like
didn't care.
like
Didn't pay attention.
she thinks that allergies and like this state of age is like people think, oh, you'll
Like
be
it's
fine.
made up
Like
kind of
he'll
thing.
be fine. He'll just have a rash. He'll be fine. I've seen Cece, you know, like the first time. Well, I've seen a picture of when they had castor the first time. I looked at it. And then she had kiwi the second time, and then the same thing happened. And I know it's real.
You know it's serious, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like, it wasn't like her throat like closed up, but she broke out in this full body rash that looked really crazy looking, and luckily, like, you know, nothing with her throat like happened. But
So did that make you angry at your mom for doing that?
yeah, I mean, I was just like, no, you just gotta, I told her, you need to think, you need to like, you know, pay attention. Just because another kid can have something, doesn't mean another kid can have something. Because like when we were at that birthday party at Jeremy's that Sunday, you know, they had this cake there. Like Bella wanted it so bad. I'm like, can't do it because Cece can't have it. She's like, you know, okay. And all the other kids were like, they can't have the cake. You know, it's like I just kind of took them off and gave them some like one of those frozen pops or something. But you know, it's just like she had to learn that just because one kid has something, there's another kid that can't have it for a legitimate reason. Like she couldn't have done it, but yeah. That's the kind of talk I had with her. When she had to call me, I think it was maybe like middle of July or something when she told me all this had happened. That's when I called my mom and talked with them for a while, and then they're just like, you know, we just couldn't deal with her anymore. Man, just kind of like, you know, they like flipped out. My nephew told Bella to go hide behind the curtain because I don't think your mom was going to let you come over here again or something like that.
Oh.
So it got heated.
Oh, it was bad.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a last straw between them, I think.
Like in the same room or over the phone?
No, they were at the house.
So they were
at my
really
mom's
neat.
house, yeah. The CC and Bella and my niece and nephew were there.
Okay.
How did Stan find out about the ice cream thing?
Because Snail was there, and I guess they were all sitting on this couch. It was kind of like a U, and my niece went into the kitchen, and she knew where the ice cream was. She'd been there.
So it's not like your mom gave it to her? Like she got her own ice
Yeah,
cream?
she went in the freezer, got it, went out, and stopped beside CC and started eating. But like, it's just a matter of like, CC could go like
Right.
like that. Now, I don't know what would happen if she just got it on her hand.
Right.
But like I know on like the prick test,
Mhm.
on the back, like low.
So were they staying there at your parents' house during that time? 'Cause-
Yeah, it was. So they would go from my Sandy and Frank's house
Yeah.
for like a few days or 5 days, and then go to my mom and dad's house for a couple of days, back and forth.
So it happened during that time. They were there, yeah. Okay.
So there were so many things that happened, weren't there? That just were little tiny ingredients to this recipe.
Yeah, nothing like
And that's great. I mean, it's just so many things just didn't go your way.
everything was like somebody was stirring a pot, and it was just
Exactly what it was like. So then, I know I keep bringing it up. Can you walk me through just the last few minutes before Shenandoah?
it was pretty much just I had gotten dressed for work, and then like we started talking.
Did she come to you?
No, I was just right there in bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was just like, I got my blue shirt on, my jeans and everything.
You ready to go?
I was ready to go. And
Was she asleep, or did you have to wake her up to finish your conversation?
I
Or?
would wake her up because like she got home like 2 o'clock, so she pretty much out of it. But I never knew like if her playing got delayed. Someone always told me like she just like sat around with Nicole and just like talked for a while and then came home or something. I'm not sure if that was
It was delayed.
But yeah, when she came home and everything, but yeah, like I woke her up and talked to her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is that because of just eating at your
Yeah, like I knew like, you know, something like it's something didn't feel right with me. So I know like she knew. I just think she knew. I just felt like maybe the kids weren't gonna be there when I got home that day.
Oh, interesting. Now, I don't mean to offend, but I have to ask, is that really the truth? Okay.
I really felt like they weren't gonna be there when I got home that day.
Oh. And
Like
so,
she would take them somewhere?
No,
Or-
I just felt like either maybe I wouldn't go home, maybe they weren't gonna be there, or I wouldn't be allowed in. Type thing.
I think I saw some text messages where she had talked about that she would take the kids to another state or something because she wouldn't be able to afford to live in Colorado or something. Did she say that kind of stuff to you, or
Yeah.
what did she say about that?
She said she couldn't afford to live in Colorado on her own, and that I told her that well, can drive, and she pretty much makes the same than I do.
Yeah.
She said she wouldn't want to try, just because Colorado just price of living there was a lot higher than North Carolina.
And just so I'm clear, you thought maybe in your mind, you thought maybe she would take the kids somewhere else or like lock you out of the house or.
Or just like I wouldn't want to make a scene like trying to like pound on the door trying to get in or something like that. But,
Mhm.
I just felt like that was what I did on Sunday. It's kind of like or Saturday night. It's kind of like the last straw. Kind of like going out with somebody and using an actual bank account card and just like not trying to hide it at all.
so walk me through it though, because she comes home, she says to you guys have sex, you fall asleep, and you wake up for work, all natural, all, a normal day's work type thing.
Yeah.
What was it that made you think, I just can't do this anymore, I have to talk to her?
I was still eating away at me. Like I
Yeah.
knew like something. I knew everything that I did. Like I know like when I was with Nikki, it was different. Like I wasn't even like in the realm of I'm a dad, I'm a husband type thing.
Oh.
And then like I was saying, when I'm never at home, like sleeping in my own bed, like I have no like concept of that anymore.
Interesting.
Because it
So
was
in your mind and heart, you can have moved on.
like it kind of felt like if I wasn't at home, like I didn't think about it almost. Cause, like if I wasn't sleeping on my own, like I think there was at one point like Nikki had gone to the mountains with his friends for like 2 days, like into June, first part of July, and then like, you know, that part, you know, obviously I was home, but like from that whole month of July on, it was like, I was never at home. Like I never had all those reminders around me. I never had, you know, like every time my wife would call me, I would be at Nikki's house.
Oh. While she was in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would like, you know, walk outside or talk to her, like when I was next to the car or something like that. But I would never be at home looking like, have all these pictures around me, just being in the same bed, you know, seeing my kids' bed, seeing everything that, you know, that we know for the last 6 years.
And so, did you just want to once and for all get it out in the open?
I just wanted to tell her how I was feeling at that point in time. Like I didn't feel like me and her were compatible anymore. I honestly didn't feel like that because what was going on with Nikki, it was new. It was new.
Right, absolutely.
Anything that's new always feels better than the old.
Yes.
You were probably bitten by the love bug.
Yeah,
Just how a lot of therapists talk about it. Yeah.
It was just like, I never felt that. I mean, even like with new relationships in the past, like it always feels different, like, you know, the first couple weeks, and then, you know, but it just, with someone Nikki felt different. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just like you said, like, you know, I was more in control, and like it was more of like maybe more of me coming out. This man always said like it always seemed I was more myself around other people, like, you know, her cousin Cody, like Cody came up visited us for a little bit while we were in Colorado for a little while, and Cody always talked about, like, how Chris is so funny, Chris is like, Sam would always like, why are you never like that with me? It's like, you know, maybe I always felt nervous around you.
There's only so much oxygen in the room, right? I say this to some people with dominant personalities.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I just always felt nervous. I always felt like I was, you know, I could actually just, be myself. Nikki, I was myself like all the time. It was just different.
Well, and it seems as though, and again, it's hard to talk about, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but it also seems, is it accurate to say that sexually you were able to say, Nikki, this is what I would like, this is what I'm into, or blah, 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 and maybe not what you had?
No, Nikki just wanted, I mean, she wanted what she wanted. She wanted to do it pretty much all the time. I was like, okay, that's fine with me. You know,
Okay.
You know, and it was like, hey, sometimes it happens, sometimes it didn't. But that wasn't the case as far as that way. It wasn't just like sexual. But it was me. I was just more myself. I could like just not think about what I was gonna say or plan what I was gonna say or not, you know, say something stupid or something. But
Right.
A little bit of freedom.
Can I ask you something about that morning that you had sex with Shanann? Did you feel at all like maybe you were kind of cheating on Nikki by doing that?
I felt strange. I felt like, you know, the first time I was with Nikki, I felt weird. First time, like,
Sure.
and then the last time I was with Shanann, I felt totally strange. I was like, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I had become. I felt like I had become people I see on TV, and that did not feel right with me. Like, I didn't know what had happened to me. Nikki even asked me, like, have you done this before? Have you ever strayed away? I'm like, I've never even thought about it. It's like, what's different? It's like, I guess it's just you that's different, because I've just never actually, like, I've seen girls smile at me before, never done anything about it. With her, it was just like she had a leash on me and she tugged me away. As soon as she walked, I'm like, hey, what's going on? So.
Well, and Tammy brings up a very good point. I wonder if that last time with Shanann having sex had somewhat of a role in you thinking,
Like a trigger?
I got to do something, I got to say something, we got to have a talk, something's got to change. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I felt like it was like maybe like a trigger point or something, like you hit the push button on a bomb and it just blows up.
Right.
Just something in my head was just like something's hurting. Just like I had to say something.
Okay. So then, exactly what did you say and what happened?
So when I woke her up, and it's like, hey, we just gotta talk.
Okay.
And it's like I told her, I don't feel compatible. I don't feel like this is gonna work. I just, you know, I don't wanna, like, can we cancel the trip to Aspen? She had booked a trip that week to go to some like mystery 4-star luxury hotel or something.
Is the two of you or the whole family?
Just me and her.
Okay.
And she had Amanda there, didn't watch the kids that weekend or something.
Okay.
And I was just like, can we cancel that? Can we like do something? Like, from what I remember, I even said, can we move to Brighton just to get away from like this house?
Oh.
But like, I'm not sure if that was like in the beginning or the end of part of the conversation or whatnot. That conversation went so many different ways. Like they've gone from like staying together to not staying together to just like all of the above.
Okay. So this is half an hour, what?
Definitely not more than half an hour. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think.
Are you crying? Is she crying?
It's back and forth. It's like, you know, she's got, you know, mascara. She didn't wash her face when she got home. She had makeup on still, so mascara was running all over her and stuff like that. And yeah, it was nothing about that conversation. I just wish I could take all of that. Just the whole Nikki thing, back everything. But
So then when did it turn?
as far as that conversation, just at the end when I was telling her, like, I told her I didn't love her anymore. That's what happened.
What happened?
She said we can get off her, and that's when I ended it.
Okay.
Did you say she said something like that you were hurting the baby or something?
That was before that, because like when I was straddling her, it was kind of like around her waist type deal.
Why did you get on her like that?
I just when we got on the bed, that's just when I got on.
Is that so she would listen to you?
I felt like she could probably listen to me just laying beside her, but I got on top of her. And every time I think about it, I'm just like, did I know I was going to do that before I got on top of her?
Really? That's an interesting thought, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if you do.
It's like, you know, everything that happened that morning, I don't know, like I try to go back in my head, I'm just like, I didn't want to do this, but I did it. And everything just kind of like,
Felt like you had to?
it just felt like it was, I don't even want to say it felt like I had to, it just felt like there was already something in my mind that I was planning that I was going to do it, and I woke up that morning, it was going to happen, and I had no control of it.
You never thought about it before?
It was just like, I don't want, like when, like just like in the sentencing hearing that the prosecutor said it takes 2 to 4 minutes, something like that to happen. Like why can't I just let go? I didn't. Oh, that's interesting. I just let
Was
go.
it feeling like it was in motion and you just couldn't stop it?
Yeah, it was just like, I don't even want to know what she saw when she looked back at me, honestly.
Did you look at her? What was she doing?
Fighting.
Why do you think she wasn't fighting?
I don't know. Maybe she was praying. Maybe she was just. I read the Bible. It says, you know, like, you know, there's a scripture that says, don't forgive these people for they do not know what they do. Maybe she was saying that. I don't know what she was saying in her head, but she, you know, like when you guys told me, like, take off your shirt and check for defensive wounds, and like, you know, there wasn't going to be any. She didn't fight. I don't know why.
If she didn't could she grab your arms, or were her arms pinned down, or?
Not that I remember. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think like I moved to where my knees or around her arms or anything. But it was just kind of like when I got on top of her, we started talking. That was it. It's kind of like in my head, or like in the back of my head, that was going to happen, and just like at the end of the conversation, it was just like, that's what happened. I just wish I could have let go.
Did it seem like it was that long, 2 to 4 minutes? How long did it seem for you?
Almost kind of felt like it was longer almost, because it felt like time was standing still. It's kind of like I just saw my life just disappearing before my eyes, but it's just like I couldn't let go. It was like somebody else, like if you picture somebody else around you, holding your hands, holding you, keep you from not letting go.
At some point there was a statement about rage. Do you feel like you were in a rage at that point?
That's the only way I can describe it, honestly. Like a snap. I know, I guess my attorney had said, like, some, you know, strangulation is more of like a, I don't know, passionate type thing. So I don't know how that can be passionate.
It's just intimate because you're right in there,
Yeah.
using your own hands. It's a lot different than someone standing across the room and you shooting them or something like that. So.
I just felt like somebody was like behind me, just like, I just couldn't let go.
It's interesting to me because there was a lot of things in your life that were like that, right? Where you're just like, maybe felt out of control, or maybe felt like, I don't know why I couldn't take a step back, or, you know, like even when you said, when your buddy was like, for a football game, you wanted to say yes, you could.
I wanted to, like, I haven't been to a football game since North Carolina, so I was just like, yeah, sure. Like, I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
I wanted to just text me, hey, you know, it was here, go through, can go.
So, then what?
After, you know, Shanann was like, once she was gone, it was just like, I didn't know what was going on. It's like, it was like a traumatic, I don't know what you call it, traumatic event type, and everything, and like, I was shaking, I didn't know what had happened. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I had done. I still wasn't in that right state of mind. I don't think like I was in control of what I could think or what I could do at that point in time. And most people say like, well, I just called 911. I was like, unless you're in that situation, you don't know what you would have done. It's easy to play Monday morning quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Like I said, if somebody shoots somebody, you don't know what they're going through their mind at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you'd have done.
So what happened next? Is that what happened? Bella came in. What'd she say?
Well,
Did she hear something? Is that what she told me?
obviously, I think.
Okay. What did you tell me?
Somebody don't feel good.
And then, did that happen with Bella right in that room?
Not proper.
What happened?
She walked in as she talked about she was sleeping.
Did you take her back to her room?
So she ran in that sheet and found like
Okay. And what?
carried her downstairs and backed my truck up.
At that point, were the girls still there? Okay. And then Shanann's in the truck. Then you're back to the house.
We got everybody back in the truck.
Was Bella first or was she first?
In the truck.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Shanann was first. And then Bella was next. Was Bella alive when you guys got in the truck? Oh, okay. What happened?
I woke back up.
Okay.
I don't really want to talk about this part.
Okay.
Those are my kids. My baby friends talk to them every night. Help me.
Okay.
Every time I see pictures, I don't know how this could have happened. And being a dad was the best part of my life. I took it all away.
I think that's the hardest part for us, Chris, is we see those videos, we see that love that you had for your girls, like, it's obvious to us, and even to us, it's hard for us to understand how a dad who's given piggyback rides and, you know, making snacks and watching princess movies and those kinds of things, how you get to that point, you know?
No, like I said, it was just like something else was controlling me that day. I had no control over what I was like to fight back.
Yeah.
Like when that prosecutor said it felt a bitter tongue, like repeatedly, I just wanted to just bang my head up against the wall.
So you put Shanann in the truck, and then you put the two girls in the truck? Were they just sitting in their car seats, or I guess they didn't probably have car seats in your truck, did they?
No, I was sitting in the back with the, like in that bench sheet.
So Shanann was back there too?
She was on the floor.
What did they say about Shanann being on the floor?
Mommy, okay?
What did you tell them?
She'll be fine.
Did you have their stuff with them? With their toys and their blankets and stuff?
They had something with them that they carried. One of them, I think CCM fella had like a blanket or something with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like a pink blanket or...
What about the dog? I think one of them had a dog, right? That talked or dog.
Yeah, one of them had like a little barking dog.
Was that with you too? Do you know?
I think it was. It's hard to remember. Like if they had like the big blanket, small blanket.
So, I think I saw on the video that you put a gas can or something in the back of your truck. Is that right? Did you have different plans when you put that in there?
I don't know what was going through my head. I feel like maybe I could just get rid of myself at the same time if I was doing all this, honestly.
Yeah.
Did you think about that?
What did you think about that?
I just felt like I deserved to live after what had happened.
Was there any thought to the whole family going away that day, just to include you?
After everything happened, that's a definite thought.
Yeah. It's interesting to me. We had all kind of wondered if there was a point when you were all together, and if you were all going to pass together. That to me makes sense, because that's, even though it sounds crazy, that's what a family man does, right?
Family man doesn't do what he did.
No, I know. I guess what I mean is, it seems like you guys were going to be together forever in that way. Is that maybe what was going through your head?
Honestly, I just felt like I had deserved to live.
Yeah.
And it was like, whatever judgment I was going to come upon myself, you know, I just didn't deserve to be on this earth anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Yeah.
So what made you not do that? Do you think?
I don't know if it was just more of like a, because with the site, maybe it was just more of like, I would have hurt more people than just me and everybody else. I know there's other people out there, not like at the site, but other people like maybe out in the area. Like, I didn't want something like on the site to catch fire and blow up, and then other people around would get hurt and the same.
So you were thinking initially about starting a fire out there or an explosion or something, or?
No, not for that. Just like maybe I could take care of myself. That's the only thing. I mean, I don't have a gun. I don't have anything like that. I like just commit suicide that way. But it's just like
Blow yourself up?
I mean, it was just. I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
I don't have weapons. I've never hunted before in my life. I don't know what. I mean, nothing was right that morning.
Yeah. I remember you kept telling me that. You kept saying, I didn't know what I was doing, Tammy. I didn't know. Like,
Yeah, when you asked me about the sheet, like, what were you doing? Like, I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah. I think you were just like in automatic mode, or it seemed like. So did you drive straight out there? So what were you thinking on the way out there?
It's kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm just like, nervous, shaking, not knowing like, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like I know like my life is completely changed. I don't know like what's happening. Like honestly, like I try to picture that whole ride. Like it's like 45 minutes to an hour ride out there, and it's just like, couldn't I have like saved my girl's life? Couldn't I have done something? Why did I do that? I don't know.
Right.
Like this is my flesh and blood. This is like what I wanted all my life, was to be a dad, just to have kids and they love me, all that, and it just nothing made sense.
Right.
Like the whole thing, nothing made sense. I'm just like, what's it doing?
Mhm. So what happened when you got out there?
Took Shanann out to a place off to the site,
Mhm.
and then
What were the girls doing when we were doing that?
just sent them back to the truck.
And then what happened after that?
CC was first. He did have a blanket. He had a blue blanket. A Yankee blanket.
So was she alive when she went into the oil tank? No.
I put the blanket over her head.
And that's how she kind of gets free.
I put the blanket over her. I didn't want to. No. Sprinkled her right there in the back seat.
Okay.
What was Bella doing?
Later.
Does she understand that she's always going on?
Didn't say anything.
And then same for Bella. Just without a blanket.
With the blanket.
Oh, okay.
I didn't look. Like every time I closed my eyes, I just hear her say, "Daddy, no," and that was it.
That's what Bella said.
I hear that every day.
Do you really? Sorry, man.
I'm sorry, it doesn't take anything back to that kid.
I know. Is it possible that in your mind you didn't want them to suffer throughout their life? Was this like a mercy thing?
I mean, you can say that like after the fact, but it was just like, I don't.
You didn't feel like that during it?
I just didn't. I felt like it was just like an anger with Shanann, with everything that I was just taking it out on everybody that was in front of me that morning.
Yeah.
I mean, kids growing up without their parents, depending on what grandparents or whoever they grew up with, seemed to be fine. But it was just like, it was an anger thing. It was just like,
And what were you so angry at Shanann about? Like if you could pinpoint it.
nothing that makes anybody to want to do this. I mean, you could be angry at your spouse like your whole life, but you should never have done anything like this. You should never let it get to that point. Or not let it get to a point where I've never been angry before. Like, and this is like the epitome of being angry.
Yeah.
The epitome of like showing a rage. The epitome of like losing your mind. I mean, even like some people in here said they were like, "The heck happened?" You must freaking snap. I'm like, I just walked away. I'm just like, it's, I don't see it in my mind how it could have, like, I look outside every day and like, what could we be doing right now? right now I'd have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and one might be a 1-month-old son. And a beautiful wife. And it's like, right now it's just me.
I watched that video of you finding out that Shanann was pregnant. You don't seem excited. You seem like kind of in shock
Scared.
and yeah, like, oh fuck. Like,
Well,
it was already complicated and now this.
Well, it's like, when we had talked about it, like a couple weeks, it happened fast, like, with Bella, it was like, we almost gave up
Mhm.
trying. And she bought me like a supercharger for my car. And then with Cece, it was like, we had to try. And then finally, but with Rico, it was, you know, once or twice, and then like 2 flares, she's pregnant.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. And just like, it was more like surprise, scared, and like, wait, what? Like, we just talked about this. Like, you know, and then people have brought up the fact like, oh, she was like pregnant before, like you guys even talk about it. I'm just like, it's just not, it's not, no. It was like, yeah, it was insanely fast. I'll give it that. Like, that's the only reason I ever gave that notion, like, even the moment I saw it, 'cause it was like faster than any other time that she'd gotten pregnant.
You just didn't seem happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I haven't like, I don't remember the video much. I know she was wearing like a "Oops, we did it again" shirt and everything, and I was walking with my cooler or something.
mhm.
I don't remember like my actual like reaction, like watching the video, but like I could see her surprised to see it like that. It didn't seem like he was jumping for joy type thing.
Yeah, it didn't seem like that.
Did you watch the one of when I found out about Cece?
So,
Oh, okay.
is it totally different?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Because Bella was in the crib and it had an eviction notice on the.
Oh, yeah, I think you told me about it. Yeah, I never saw it though.
Yeah, I picked up Bella and spun her around, and this time it was just me and Shanann, and she was in the kitchen. I don't know, like, I forget what date it was, maybe like June 3rd or 5th or 7th, I'm not sure like what date it was in the video, but maybe I already felt guilty about talking to Nikki at work.
Yeah.
Maybe that was going through my head.
Is that the potential timing? Does that make sense? Okay.
I don't remember the video, what day the video was, but I knew like I kind of met Nikki around like June 1st. I knew like she told me like afterwards.
When you say met her, you mean like went on a date with her?
No, I didn't went on a date with her until she was in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Just like flirting stuff.
Yeah, I mean there was natural flirting back and forth, and I was just like, I knew that like with that video timing, I probably just looked like I was like felt guilty for even talking to the girl at work.
Well, you probably did, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys fight before, you and Shanann? I know you talked about like not really raising your voice and stuff. Was there? Cause I want to say, didn't a neighbor talk about them fighting and stuff?
Yeah, but that was embellished and exaggerated, and he retracted that.
Oh, he ended
Yeah,
up
he-
doing
yeah,
that.
he retracted that.
Did you guys ever fight? Did you ever?
I mean,
Was there any domestic violence in your house? Like,
No, like we never.
this is strange to us. To
Even
have,
from her to you, I mean,
yeah.
she gets mad and she's pregnant and grabs a knife or
No, like
scratches you or smacks you around or nothing?
no, she's never like nothing.
Okay.
That's what makes all this even more hard to understand from my standpoint. Nothing good to it.
Yeah.
Did she ever belittle you at all? Did you ever feel that way, maybe?
Was that?
Did she ever make you feel like she belittled you, or you felt belittled by her?
I mean, there's always points like in a marriage where like the dominant person like takes control of
Sure.
everything, but like I was my whole life I just kind of went with the flow. Like I never like put myself in the center of attention. I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be in the back row.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if she did belittle me, I couldn't pick that exact point or time.
She never really felt that way. Right?
No, I mean, I always knew I was like, the introvert, and she was she took control of most situations. Like when people came over, like I knew what my role was.
Yeah.
Like I watch videos. It's like like cooking, or she'd make like powder balls, or or like protein balls, or whatever.
Yeah.
You just don't seem like you want to be in those videos.
No.
Like I feel like you were being forced to be in those videos. And correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah,
that's what it seemed like to me.
I hated being in videos. I mean, I did it because for her, because
Right.
it was for her business and
Sure.
stuff. But like it was, I hated just being out for
Yeah.
everybody to see. That's why like the whole like the gender reveal thing. I was just like, I didn't want it to be like some live Facebook video. I'm just like, no. Yeah. But like I never wanted to be out there. But I know I'm like.
Well, even when she was, we talk about this a lot, Tammy and I, Dave, even when it was, I think it was Florida on some Lavelle or Thrive thing, and she's like, here we are, and it's all expenses paid, and
I was like,
I remember looking at you and thinking, like, he is not into this video right now.
No, you don't look into any of the videos, I'll be honest with you.
I wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I remember you talking about, like, she would even post stuff for you. Like,
Oh, yeah.
'cause you're technically a salesman, too, of
Yeah, I was-
Lavelle, of Thrive.
Like she put me underneath her, and that like anything, like any of my friends or stuff, like anything I do would help her.
Right.
So it was just, I would send her pictures. Like I said, take a picture with your patch. I'm like, okay, send it to her, and then she'd make a post about it. She was like, I need to take more control over like your business and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know what to talk about.
Right.
Like if I wanted to talk to somebody at the mall or at the pool or somebody about this, I just stumble all over my words and just like they'd be like, okay, bye. But no,
Yeah.
I'm not a salesman. I mean, she could sell everything you're wearing back to you,
Right.
and you wouldn't even know it. Like, wait, I just paid
Right.
this shirt. I paid $20 for it. Yeah, those videos are not me. I did it just to support her. Like she would always say, "Oh."
Could you tell her no? Could you say, I don't want to be in that video? Or was that an option?
Probably not enough. I mean, it's like, she would have been like, well, why this is to, help our family. This is for, to help this and that, so I couldn't have told her no. I mean, it would have made her mad. I would have been like, no. I wouldn't want to start that just because it's for the business, it's for the family. I was just going to try to help out wherever I can.
Right.
Did that actually make money?
Mm-hmm.
So not only just more sales, but it actually put money in your guys' pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she made probably in that last year, probably as much as I did.
On commissions, basically. I mean, I know that's a simplified version of it, but
Yep. I mean, it's they don't pay taxes out on it, so.
right.
So that was like the good thing, and they pay for your car.
Mhm.
So
So they give you an allowance or something to buy a car?
yeah, if you're a certain level, like a 12K or above, they give you a car allowance once a month. I'm not sure how they made money. The owners doing that, but they did.
Yeah.
Unless there's just like an insane markup on the product, which I thought there is.
Probably is, yeah.
I'm not sure how much it costs them to make it.
Yeah.
Did you feel like a different person wearing those patches?
Especially like the Duo, the Burn. I mean, like the Apple Watches. Like if you look on it, like when it tells you to exercise, it tells you to exercise like all day. My heart rate was like up.
Oh.
Just from those patches.
Was it full of caffeine or what?
They just have something. They had something on them. I mean, the black label ones, the longer black ones, those had caffeine in them, but it never had that effect. I mean, the Duo Burn ones, the ones that are more of like the fat loss type, it felt like I was working out all day, even though I wasn't.
Oh, were you tired?
I mean, I know at some points, even Nikki said that, like, I'd fall asleep on the couch, on her couch, while I was talking to her, and then, like, pick back up like I never knew I fell asleep, which I don't know if it was, like, some insomnia thing or what, but, like, I wasn't sleeping much,
So you had a lot going on then.
Yeah, that was the only patches I really felt like got a real big difference on, just because it felt like I was working out all day.
Mhm. You don't feel like they changed your personality or anything like that, though, or do you?
I don't really know. I know that I just felt different on those than any other patch. It was feel like I do just go longer and longer each day.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure like if that was probably a bad thing, because I don't think I was probably sleeping more than 3 hours a night.
So would you stay at, when Shannon was gone, would you stay with Nikki and then go home for like to get ready and work?
Yeah, I just wake up at like 4:30 and go home and get ready for work and leave. And I just work out when I got back home.
Mhm.
What were the conversations with Nikki as far as, at some point you guys were talking about her helping you fund an apartment. So what did you guys talk about as far as your future together?
That didn't really happen until like I got back from the beach. So I told her like I lied to her like, hey, like I had talked to Shannon about getting a separation.
And that talk hadn't happened yet.
I mean, it kind of like, she knew something was going on. Right? I mean, we weren't sleeping in the same room, and then she even mentioned the fact like, hey, Colorado's 50-50 state or something like that, and I said, okay, I guess she looked it up. But that actual talk hadn't actually happened. I was just like, I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah. And so in conversations with Nikki, I get it. I mean, you're telling her like the progress for the divorce is a little bit more than it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then so what were you guys planning?
So it was more of like she was going to help me find an apartment that was affordable. That's kind of just around like Brighton or maybe just close to work, like or Lupton or something around there. That's kind of like where my area was.
Mm-hmm.
Did you talk about moving in with her?
She didn't want that.
She didn't want that. Would you have done that if she would have been cool with that?
I didn't look too soon. I would have thought it was just we'd only been really seeing each other like almost like a month or maybe talking about 2 months. So I didn't really. She called her house like her apartment like her. I don't know, like her kind of like a shield or kind of like her. She has another word for it, but
Like her safe place?
yeah, like a safe place or something like that. And she said, like, people like to invade it, but that's why she always let me come over, because she said she felt like it was fine, like her dog liked me, everything, like she said, hey, you just should belong here type thing. Oh, okay.
So you and Shannon, did you talk about selling the house? Or what point did you? There was some discussion there with Aunt Beddoes.
Yeah, she had sent an email about Dan about like how we would go about like selling the house.
Yeah.
I think Ann told her about Ann was always about getting pre-approved. Just like like if you're going to sell your house, get pre-approved for like another house, so it's like much faster.
Yeah, so you just quickly transitioned from one to the other. Okay. When did that happen? Remember?
I think it was either right before we left. No, that had to have been like first week of August, somewhere around there. I think she may have contacted her.
So the plan was maybe to buy a house. I think you told me in Brighton, you think about buying a house in Brighton.
Yeah, just like she liked that Adams 12 school system or something.
Yeah.
So I think that's what Brighton is back.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about when you called the school that day, on Monday?
I was freaking out. I didn't know, like I was thinking in my head, like, what I just did, what I just done, and I didn't know, like, it was stupid to do anything. To call the school, to call Ann, to call anybody. I mean, they were right to be, suspicious about anything. Like, I knew I probably sounded eccentric on the phone and out of sorts, and just. I don't even know what they were thinking. They heard me.
I think you thought I was weird, but I don't know how you would not sound weird, like you said, so.
So are you 100% sure the girls were still around and alive when you drove out? Okay. So that's completely accurate and nothing else about that?
They got in the truck.
Okay.
Where did the blanket go?
probably in the trash can or something.
In the trash?
It wasn't like, it was still in my truck.
Okay. We thought we saw some GPS where you had stopped by near a construction roll-off dumpster. Is that true, or?
I think that's like, I dumped my clothes in there.
So that would have been on the way back to the house?
Yeah. My neighborhood.
Yeah. When Officer Kumar was there? Okay. Was it one of those red construction dumpsters?
More than likely.
Okay.
Did you pack new clothes? How did that work?
I already had some in there, just like, in case we had like a spill or something.
Oh.
If you ever get crude oil on you, you know. Yeah, I have like 2 pairs of boots, all kinds of different stuff in there, just because like just one time I had to clean up the spill and I had defrost on, and I had like a headache for like 2 weeks because like the crude oil that comes with that. So I always have something in there.
So where did you keep them after you took them off? Like, did you just change out there into your new other clothes?
So like I dumped my clothes in that dumpster.
But that wasn't that on the way back? When you were coming? Like, you'd already worked the whole day, right?
I'd work like till like 11 or so.
Right.
Yeah. So that was back when Nicole Atkinson.
Yeah, when she was at my house, hitting the doorbell is when I knew I was at the house.
Right.
Did you think right then, like, oh fuck, like here we go? Or what were you thinking about?
I didn't even know why she was there. I was like, I didn't know, like, maybe she had an appointment or something with Shanann. I didn't know.
What did you think, like, that day, like, what you were going to say? Like, what was your plan? Were you just going to go home and be like, report to the police that your family's gone, or?
I had, like, I had no idea what was going to happen. Like, after everything, like, I mean, I don't even know how I was even acting even normal to people that I was around. That's when, like, Troy and Cody and Chad and Melissa and all them, like, you know, when they showed up on the site, I don't even know how I was even being somewhat even coherent what I was saying, but apparently when I shouldn't have. So I didn't know what was going to happen. Like I said, this wasn't like something like some criminal minds type.
Like, well thought out.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Minute by minute at that point.
Yeah, I had no idea what was going on.
So once the girls were gone, was it also just a minute by minute thing as far as the oil tanks?
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. I mean, just thinking about an oil tank just makes me want to throw up.
And was that just because it was in front of you and there it was and just presented itself? It wasn't a plan beforehand? Okay. Was there any reason why the separate ones?
No, it's just like you said, it was like going up the stairs and it didn't. No, like what Frank said is like I was trying to separate everybody. That's not.
No.
No, I didn't want to separate anybody.
What was the reason?
I can't even tell you. It was like I said, like something else was in control of what I was doing, and it was like I was doing something I never thought I would ever do in my life.
Did you think there would be less chance of someone finding them if they were in separate tanks, or?
I didn't. Whatever my reasoning was in my head that day, it wasn't sound. Nothing was right.
And you don't even remember thinking about it?
No, it was just like a reaction of something that I wasn't even thinking of.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the trash bags? Do you remember that?
Oh, okay. Yes. Trying to, because like the sheet kept, I didn't want to, like when I was putting, there's one coherent, I guess, thing I had, like I didn't want the girls looking at Shanann while they were in the back seat.
So what'd you do?
Put a trash bag on one end and on her feet and on her head so they didn't have to see.
And they were just too little to kind of figure out, right?
Yeah, they didn't.
Okay.
I just know, like, when I was driving up there, I mean, you know, they were just, you know, sitting there just, you know, kind of asleep or kind of just, like, you know, holding on to each other, laying in each other's laps, you I didn't.
Do you remember having any thoughts or thinking about why not just putting them all together with Shanann?
It was just happening so fast. I had no time to really have a thought. That was my own.
Okay.
But I wasn't like dutifully trying to separate anybody passing away, trying to keep anybody separate. That's and everything, you know, Frank Sandy and Frankie said, you know, like I don't hold it against them. I mean, they can hate me for, they have a right to hate me for the rest of their lives.
They don't want to
But,
hear you.
in fact, while we're on the subject, I speak with them weekly, and I told them that we were going to come here, and then hopefully would speak with us. And they told me to tell you, understandably, they're devastated. But they actually said that they love you. They still love you. And Sandy explained it. You know, he's our son-in-law for 8 years. I can't just turn that off. So they don't hate you. They don't.
That's amazing to hear that.
Yeah. Well, and I can tell you, Sandy was the one that was most resistant to penalties in this case. And she said that. She told me that at the very beginning. That she didn't want that. It's God's decision. It's not her decision. And then she told me that even then. So it's not just a one-time thing that she has said it to me. It's been over the whole course of the event. So that's probably one of the most honest things someone's ever told me. You know, so it's pretty amazing. You know, faith is. She's obviously a believer. So am I. I get it. So I understand it.
That's amazing to even hear that.
Yeah. Good people.
I would have figured they would have hated me for.
They don't. I mean, yeah, anybody would think that. I certainly would have, but I have to admit I was surprised. Really taken back by that, but they certainly don't.
What did they say when they knew you were coming out here?
They said they want to know, details, because they need closure. And that's really all they want. And they want to keep it private. And I said, absolutely. We'll talk to them about what you told us, and just so they can put it past them, because they're having a hard time dealing with it and trying to get past it all. And I think that may help, just to know.
Closures, I mean, my parents still think, like, I told them I pled guilty for a reason.
Right.
Right.
And, like, I told it to them when they had that video phone thing in Colorado the day before, like, I pled guilty, but I plead guilty for a reason. I didn't just, I knew other people were watching. I didn't just go in and, like, just say anything. Like, they seemed to take it, okay. And
What made you do that, Chris? What made you plead guilty?
I didn't want anybody else I didn't want them to go through this for 2 or 4 years. I didn't want my attorneys to lie for me for 3 or 4 years. Like, they would have done anything I told them to do. Sure. That's what I don't see how they can do that. And, like, that's what attorneys do. Like, they take their defendant and they say, hey, like, what happened? Okay, we'll go with that story. Like, I told them everything I just told you guys. And it's just like, they got together, they're like, well, if they ever offered a plea deal, would you ever want to, like, just plead guilty to? I'm like, yeah, I mean, if we can end this, end it. Like, I was, like, in September, I told them that.
Really?
Yeah, but, it was way too early, and the prosecution was still doing their investigating, still grabbing evidence and all kinds of stuff, and that wasn't even really on the table. So I think it was around Halloween. I think that's when the prosecution went to Frankie's house. And it's talking like, if we can end this, would you be open to that? And that's when, like, like the whole death penalty and everything, all that conversation happened. And I guess they were surprised that it would just be over. And
We were all in shock. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was like,
It's like we were going 100 miles an hour, and then we just hit a brick wall. Like, that's what it felt like to all of us. So, I mean, obviously you had more time to
yeah, I mean,
contemplate it than
yeah,
us.
I told John and Kate and Sophia and everybody, Amy, hey, if we can just stop this, and like, I know it's, you know, everybody's telling me to fight this, you know, there's no, like, there's like, everybody's saying there's like not enough evidence to such and this and that, and I'm just like, no, I'm just like, this needs to end. Like, I don't want people to have to, because for Frank and everybody to have to fly back to Colorado every single time and get reminded of this, like, I'm sure it's never going to go away, but to actually have to come and talk about it, have other people talk about it, have, you know, all three of you get on the witness stand, say, you know, what they saw, what they've seen, you know, what they heard on tapes and everything like that. It's just like, I don't want people to live that over and over and over again for years. Like, if I could just end this for everybody, and then, like, if there's any closure at all, they could, you know, pick it start then instead of like 2022. But, you know, like, you know, everything's like, I know it'd only get worse for everybody.
So did it have anything to do with you not having the death penalty?
No, like, I mean, honestly, like, when I was sitting in that cell, I felt like I should have died. I mean, I was listening to everybody telling me, like, hey, if you do this and this, you can hang yourself in that cell, you could do this and that.
They were, like, telling you stuff.
Yeah, you could drown yourself in the toilet if you wanted to put your toilet roll up or something like that. It was, they'd been there a bunch of times. And, like, you know, at one point I was listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just like, you know, I just felt like maybe there's a different purpose for me somewhere. You know, maybe it's here. I don't know. Like, I prayed to God every day that He would move me away from Colorado, like, move me away from, like, the DOC there, because I just knew, like, they were saying there was a hit on me. They said if I was going to a DOC in Colorado, like, I'd last a week and I'd be dead. Because, like, the gangs and all that kind of stuff. So, like, I just felt like God moved me here for a reason, and I'll, you know, hopefully I can help people that way. But, like, I didn't want my family, I didn't want all of our friends, like, you know, having to go through that, because after a while I knew it was like, this stuff was everywhere, and I knew, like, all her Thrive friends, everybody, that was just like, it would just broke, just that hole in their heart just a little bit bigger every time. I didn't want that. I knew it would have gotten worse. I didn't want it to get any worse than it already was.
Did you ever think about, well, you know, it could be very believable, what I told him, it could be very believable that Shanann did, you know, end the girls. So maybe if I tried to convince people that, maybe if I fought with my attorneys on that, maybe I could lessen it somehow. Did you ever think about that?
Honestly, I never even thought about the story until you guys mentioned it.
Yeah. Okay.
I wondered.
I never even thought about it until you guys mentioned it.
So what did you think about it once it got mentioned?
Just like, I just went with it. I didn't, like, you know, I knew my dad was out there. I knew it was like, you know, I knew they would probably believe it because, you know, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann. And I knew, like, you know, I mean, through all this, like, I got letters from some of my friends even said, you know, when we were at your house, we could see, you know, Shanann was more of a dominant personality and more of, like, you know, you're always helping with the kids and everything. Just, you know, you're a great dad and everything. We could see, you know, couple things that I never saw or, you know, whatnot. And even my best friend Mark even said, you know, there was always, you know, something, you know, I didn't really get with Shanann. I was like, nobody ever told me any of this stuff, but okay. But yeah, I never thought about that story, and, you know, that's what my attorneys were going with. And then, like, I think it was probably the second week I told them, like, what had really happened.
What did they say after that?
They were quiet. They were writing it down. They said they wouldn't judge me, so I told them. I told them everything that happened. And they, you know, appreciated, like, I guess, you know, most of the time, you know, their defendant or their, you know, defense don't, like, tell them actually what happened.
No. Yeah.
They just, you know, tell them, all right, get me out of here. This is what happened. So I told them what happened. I didn't want them going
if this was going to go like anywhere in courts, I didn't want them to be under a false pretense and like get surprised. So I know like there was probably things that you guys probably knew that maybe if I lied to them and just tell them, no, this is what happened, that it would have like made them look, you know, foolish and stupid and just like, you know, unprepared, and I was like, this is what happened. And they, you know, they appreciated me telling them that, so now they would be prepared, and that's when they were saying, like, you know, if it was ever, you know, if we ever went to them, the prosecution, and say, hey, if we could end this, would I be open to it? I'm like, if it could end it.
I know there was like, wasn't her phone found on the couch or between the couch cushions? Like, did you plant all that
I
stuff?
just threw it in there.
You just threw it in
Yeah,
there? Why did you do that?
I don't know what was going on that morning. Like, even like, you know, her watch, her phone, like, you know, if I was actually, like, if I'd planned this, I would probably just take it out to the field or something, you know. But,
What about her ring and stuff? What were you thinking about that?
it's like, you know, maybe she actually really wanted a divorce, maybe she didn't want to fix it, just put it there on the counter.
She took it off? Or did you take it off?
I took it off.
Okay. Oh, so that would look like she was saying, I want a divorce, I'm leaving it here when I'm taken off. I see.
So the phone and her watch and the couch, was that morning before you left to go to service? Okay.
That's, I think, Nicole's son found it or something.
Yeah.
What other things did you do that maybe we even missed?
So the phone and the watch, you know. I think I threw the therapy books you wanted me to read in the trash.
That was that morning?
I think so.
Were you trying to make it look like she threw it in the trash?
I don't know. I just
Oh.
I just didn't think it was nothing that was gonna work again. So I didn't know what was going on.
Did you go down to the basement? I thought the basement door opened.
Yeah, the door is open, but yeah. So there was a lot of movement, you know, I think it was around 4:26 or something. The garage door opening, the basement door opening, and then of course the living room sensors and all. Do you remember what you were doing all during that time? Other than
You had a lot of
going out
steps,
the garage.
I'll just say that.
Okay. So like the basement, I'm not sure. I mean, the only thing I really have down there is my workout, the bench press and whatnot.
Do you remember going down there for anything or opening that door for anything? Did you think about, well, maybe I'll take her out that way, or is it a walkout basement?
No.
I wasn't at your house. Okay.
It's like a garden level basement. So.
Okay.
And I don't remember really. I don't think I worked out that morning.
Like, were you packing your lunch in the kitchen? Like, did you
Oh,
have to
yeah.
do all that normal
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely packed some lunch and everything. Did all that. I don't remember about the basement. Unless I just worked out that morning, I just don't remember. I don't think I did.
So one of the more,
Unless there was a trash bag down there that time.
Yeah, you got trash bags in there.
Maybe there wasn't any in the garage and I went down there and got one.
Do you normally carry a roll of trash bags in your truck?
No.
So there was a roll in your truck.
There was?
Yeah.
Maybe I just grabbed it and brought it with me in the
That would have been kept in the basement, maybe? Or
basement or the garage.
or the garage. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Grant?
one of the more kind of poignant or tender moments in all of this was seeing your dad when he came in. What was it like when you picked him up at the airport?
It was very strange. It was kind of like I almost knew this was probably the last time I'd ever see him on the outside. In my head, I knew that.
Yeah. What did you guys talk about?
Honestly, like he just wanted to talk about sports. He just like, you know, he's always kind of like, you know, distance himself from like a problem type thing. Like, you know, when like if there was ever an issue or anything like that, he always wanted to talk about, like, just bring up, like when I was trying to get him to quit smoking, like all the time, like that's after like I graduated high school and whatnot. He would.
Are you talking about cigarettes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he would always like just change stuff. He's like, oh, you never happened in race, football, or something. I mean, he just never wanted like, you know, he said, okay, yeah, I'll get to it, and he was boom, something else. And you know, I just kind of felt like it was kind of like that, you know, like he asked like a few questions, like, you know, do you know where they're at, and do you think, you know where they're at, or anything like that, and you know, don't know. And then like start talking about, just want to talk about sports and just like normal things, and just kind of, I'm not sure if he maybe knew anything, you know, maybe he kind of figured out something maybe happened, just wanted to talk to me as his son.
Is it possible if he saw that you were in a stressful situation and wanted to do what he always did, make
Yeah.
things comfortable?
I think that was a good way to put it.
I bet you picked up a lot of that from him.
Yeah, because in stressful situations, like I mean, the gray hair doesn't show it, but like I try not to be in stress. But you know, it's like, you know, I work on cars. There's a lot of stress. It's always, you know, it's on commission. You know, you get paid what you do, not by showing up. So, you know, then Darko was a little less stressful. You know, I got paid to be there. But, you know,
Was your dad's marriage like yours and Shanann's marriage, as far as like your dad was the more passive one, and your mom was the
my
more
mom was
dominant?
always the more aggressive one.
Was she like Shanann in a way? I mean, were you attracted to Shanann because she was kind of like how your mom and dad's relationship was, or?
It was like, you know, it almost mirrored like her mom and dad's relationship, honestly, because her dad's like my dad. They're both like kind of calm and cool. Like,
I could see that, yeah.
And her mom is very,
Sandy rules that roost.
oh yeah, very. And it's just like, you know, I kind of related it to that, because like, her mom always said like she always told Shanann that she would marry somebody that was kind of like her dad. I felt like I was kind of like his dad. I mean, I wasn't like, you know, I couldn't build a lot of things you could, but, you know, our personalities were kind of like, you know, I was always, you know, I think he really liked me the first time he met me because, like, I was helping Shanann with this, she had got this car from the dealership that she worked at, and she was driving around, and it felt like, you know, the wheels might fall off. And we pulled over where her dad was, and I was like, I got underneath it, jacked it up, and I was like, you know, trying to fix everything. He said, like, any other guy she'd ever dated would have just like stood by and watched me do it. And so I think that's when she really like kind of liked me.
That's you.
It was like I was always wanting to help people, not to hurt anybody.
Well, and you helped her all through her lupus, and you're at the colonoscopy, and you're jacking up the car, and
Yeah, I mean, anytime she had an issue with like Carter at the 30 South Customs, and like I would just out to work, see what I could do with it. You know, I would just do whatever I could to help.
yeah. Well, and I think one of the reasons Frank and Sandy work so well is because Frank let Sandy be Sandy.
Yeah.
And they probably both saw in you that you let Shanann be Shanann.
Yeah, I just like, you know, I didn't try to change her.
Right.
Like I just let her be, you know, who she is.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, she's gung ho. She knows what she wants. She's gonna go get it.
Yeah.
And I didn't say, hey, you know, you can't do that. And that's what her first husband did.
Yeah.
He controlled everything. He tried to be Sandy, and it didn't work. And she turned into almost like me. She was like, she just kind of like played back and just kind of like let him do what he was doing. And I think she learned after that she could just be herself. And with me, she could definitely be herself.
Yeah.
So that's how it worked.
So do you think your dad had any inkling? Because I'm trying to remember the timing. He showed up when you were still walking around. You weren't in any trouble yet when Ronnie came in.
Yeah, I had met with Dude the night before, for like 3 or 4 hours. And then I was at Nick and Amanda's house. Okay. And I was there, and that's when I went to go pick him up.
Okay. And you picked him up. It was early that morning, right?
He was like 10:30 I think when his flight came in.
Okay. And then so from there, you guys probably drove home and then to the police station.
Yep.
And the talks there were no type of confession from you. Okay.
No, it was like, he was just going to wait. I told him, like, you know, there's like that barbecue joint down the street, and like, you know, it's good, and it's, you know, he told me he never left.
He didn't. I wasn't lying.
Yeah.
He was faithful. He was.
I mean, I don't know how he lasted that long without food.
We ended up giving them food.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He was great.
And the reason I ask is because when I look back and watch that video, now knowing what I know after talking to you today, I can see how genuine he was. But I just didn't know if you guys had come up with some sort of plan.
No, he never talked about it.
Okay.
I don't know. If I had told him anything, he would have probably just told me to tell him right away.
I think you're right.
He would have still loved me either way, but he would have told me, you need to tell me,
Yeah.
like right now.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, I didn't think I was going to be there for 14 or however long it was, like 10 hours, 7 months or something.
You were there a long time.
Yeah, but it was, he would have told me just to say, just to tell you.
Yeah.
Did you know walking in there that you were going to tell us? Or did you think,
I didn't, I mean, I knew there was a reason you brought me back in. I know it well for the,
what did you think about the polygraph?
that was horrible.
Why did you say
I
that?
don't know how you do that.
Why did you say that?
Because Tammy's a torturer.
I'm not.
No, like, I mean,
Tell me.
you answered, you asked me questions for like 3 or 4 hours beforehand, and then you do the polygraph, and it's like you just break down somebody's brain to where like,
Too much or
too
what?
much. Jello, and it's just like, I know it's you guys have a job and you have a plan, and that's you execute it.
Just thorough, right? There's just no way to get out of there without the truth.
No, I mean, I kind of knew like because right when you asked me about like Saturday night, when I told you about walking in, I was like, man, she was like going through her head. And I was like, why?
Well, we did know, we found out about Nikki right before the polygraph.
I figured that out after with meeting with John and everybody that
Yeah.
she had met with somebody from CBI, like on the 14th or the 15th. I was just like, they were talking. Oh, okay. You already knew, so, but
I mean, I didn't know how extensive it was, but yes, we knew.
yeah, I mean, walking in there that day, just walking into that room, I knew I wasn't walking out.
Yeah,
Just the feeling I had walking in that room.
yeah.
Just seeing, I mean, I don't remember if the polygraph stuff was already in there. I think it was.
It was, yeah.
But it was, I knew it.
I just feel like sometimes when people, you know, do the bad thing and they stay, like, some part of me thinks, well, I think they're here because they really want to tell us what happened. Because it's not normal that you want to keep all that in. Like, that just kills people on the inside, and I could tell it was killing me that day.
Yeah, I mean, it was like that. 13th when I slept in the house, it did nothing. I didn't think I had slept maybe like 2 hours, but I just finally just got so tired I just fell asleep. I had every light on. Nothing felt right.
What were you thinking about during your media interviews?
I didn't want to do it.
Why did you do it? Did you feel like you had to do it?
I felt like, they would have just kept knocking on my door until I answered it. And, like, I didn't even set it up, but, Nicole Atkinson set it up. She told me, hey, Fox is
Did you the one that set it up?
She said, Fox is going to be at your house at 10:30. I'm like, what? Like, okay. And, I think I even called you about it, like, what do you recommend that I do? And he's like, it's kind of up to you. So I'm like, okay. And I called one of her friends, what should I do? And she said I probably wouldn't do it, but I just felt like, I don't even want to know what I said, what I looked like on there, because I knew some people said it just made it look even worse after the fact, but
It didn't look good. I mean, obviously we can't say, oh, we knew right then he was lying, but I think we all watched it together and went, this might be bad.
yeah,
I had that feeling after I watched it. So I could kind of see it in your face.
it's like I was just lying to more and more people, and it's just like that.
Do you have internet access here?
No.
So you don't get into that trap of putting in watching
What
all
trap?
that,
Oh.
the social media trap and all that.
No, they don't let you have social media. You have to go. I think some of the GP guys are getting like these little like tablets or something that are like, the size like a older iPhone or something.
Mm.
I think they can use like email, but I'm not sure about like social media. No, definitely no social media. But like, I'm not sure about internet or not, but
Mhm.
this place is kind of like, you know, like dead umpires or something anyways. I would think.
I don't know, we're getting service, which is weird.
Yeah.
I didn't think we would.
It's right here.
Yeah, right in this room.
Maybe this is kind of like a hub of
Yeah.
computers.
Yeah, that's
This is
true.
the spot.
Yeah, computer room, you would hope they had some,
Did you talk to Nikki afterwards after all this happened?
13 and the 14th.
What was that conversation like?
It was the 13th. It's kind of like, you know, it was more text and then maybe a phone call, like a phone call, and then she thought maybe she had like took off with the kids, like just, you know, because that's what I was telling her. I didn't know where they were and all that. And the 14th, she kind of like, I think she kind of thought something may have happened because they hadn't come back.
Why do you say that she might have thought that?
Or, you know, she kept asking me like some weird questions. Like she kept asking like questions that only I would know, but she was testing to see if like it was actually me on the phone. Like,
What do you mean?
like she would ask like, you know, like what's my dog's name, or like what do I like, what yoga studio do I go to, or something like that. And it's like I just answer like and then like another thing, I'm not sure if this is you. And it's like, okay.
Is this through text or is this through calls? Oh, okay. So she wasn't hearing your voice. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible she thought you'd been arrested and we were on the phone?
One, either Shanann had my phone or somebody else had my phone, or like maybe, you know, maybe she thought it was the
Well, hopefully Shanann would know all the answers to those questions, right?
No, this is Nikki asking me.
Yeah, but if she's asking you your name of your dog and what yoga studio, and
Yeah.
like, wouldn't
Well,
Shanann know that?
maybe she thought, you know, maybe I was with Shanann, that she was just trying to find out who she was.
Mm.
Yeah, like some of the conversation, like on the 14th, got a little weird. I think that's when she met with FBI or something, or FBI. I'm not sure who she met with first.
So she talked to you after she met with?
No.
Oh,
That was like she had told me like, this is the last time you'll probably hear from me. I'm going to stay at my friend Jim's place while this is all going on. She said not to contact her until this is done. Still made to delete everything. I didn't delete everything. I just, okay. I'm not sure why I didn't delete everything, but it probably helped you guys out a little bit. But
she told you to delete everything?
delete all conversations.
Did she tell you why?
She just said delete it. Which I don't think you can ever delete a text message.
we're pretty good at getting deleted text messages.
When your dad came in, one of the first things you guys talked about, he said, you know, kind of quietly, I cheated on her, I cheated on Shanann at times. Your dad didn't know until that time?
No, when I was in North Carolina on August 6th, when I spent most of the day with my parents and my sister and everybody, you know, I had told them like something like, you know, I don't think this is going to work, like, with what happened with the nuts and everything, and they're not being able to see the kids, they're like, you know, this is the first time they had talked to me, and pretty much.
Oh, because you went 3 weeks or something, right?
Yeah, because Shanann told me to call them while I was at the beach just to smooth everything out, because she was like, all right, whatever's going on in your head, you need to fix this. But she didn't want the kids to see him, she didn't want to see him. And then, like, when I did see him on August 6th, it was after I went and saw my grandmother. She's in a nursing home. And she still wouldn't go see my parents or anybody, it was the kids. So I just told her to leave me there, and my dad would come pick me up, and, you know, spent the whole day there. And they were, you know, they said they want to see the kids. They just don't know if they could ever, like, you know, just forgive Shanann for everything that happened that day. I guess, I mean, I'm not sure, like, everything that was said that day when they had that argument, but apparently it was like a knockdown, drag out, like, bomb that went off.
Pretty hurtful things.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. And, you know, they just don't know, like, if they could ever forgive her or not. And I just, like, I never told them about, like, you know, cheating on her. Like, they even asked me if it was somebody else.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
So they could kind of sense maybe something's going on.
Yeah, because Nikki was texting me the entire time I was over there.
Oh.
Like, they could kind of see, like, I was texting somebody. But it was like, maybe they kind of knew. Like, even like when I was in San Diego talking to my friend Mark, I told him about Nikki, but I didn't tell him like I was going to meet up with her.
Okay.
I told him that, you know, I was trying to like, I should have just told him right then, maybe that would have helped me. I know maybe he had incidents where there was some girl coming after him, and she was engaged, and he ended up getting with her, and then they were together, and then she cheated on him.
Is this before he was married or during?
It was after.
Okay.
So, like, he could have, you know, helped me, but I just, you know, I never told him the whole thing. That, you know, it was a lot further along than I wanted it to be.
That's interesting to think about, right? His dad could give him some good advice.
Yeah, everybody. Oh, this was my friend Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, in San Diego.
Oh, I got you.
Do you think you told Mark about that and hoping that he maybe questioned you about it, or?
I was, because, you know, Mark, my best friend, you know, I grew up with him since I was like 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
So, like, he had been married before, and it didn't work out. I guess they were stationed together or something, like, over in Korea. And, I should have just kind of just came out with, like, the whole story, like, you know, like, I just told him, like, there was this girl at work that, you know, I've been talking to, but, you know, I'm just distancing myself from her, but that wasn't the case. I was just letting it, you know, exponentially get worse. If I told him, like, hey, he would have been like, whoa, man, like, all right, take a step back and look, and, like, don't, like, fall into that trap, being you're going to be alone for 5 weeks. And there's times I wish, you know, like, maybe Shanann didn't have to go away for 5 weeks, maybe we all just went for 1 week. Nothing would have ever happened. I mean, 5 weeks alone, that's the only reason really that was almost even allowed to happen.
There are quite a few people who would tell us, and who do tell us, you need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kissinger. All the way from the extreme end of things being Nikki's the one who ordered the hit.
She was there, hiding in the basement.
She was there. You know, so the extreme is, she's the one who told Chris to do it. She's the real problem. All the way, that's the extreme side, and then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated, she was in love, she was saying how good Chris was in the sack, and maybe we should look at her more. You know, what would you say to those people?
You know, she had her moments where I had to talk her, like, off the ledge kind of deal.
What does that mean?
Like, I guess after the fact, there was, like, videos of her that she was, like, recording herself because she was, like, bipolar or something. I never do that. But it's like, and she would get worked up about nothing. She would just, like, she came to my house once, because I think it was, like, July 4th. I didn't have to work that day. So I didn't, like, get up at, like, you know, 4 o'clock and go home. And Shanann had called me, like, 10 times in a row. And I didn't hear it because I was asleep. I was just like, and she was pissed. Shanann was pissed. And, like, I called her on outside, like, where are you at? Like, what? Like, I was like, I don't have to work today. It's like, you called me at, like, you know, 5:30. It's like, well, kids want to talk to you at 7:30. I'm like, I'm asleep. And she's like, she's just like, you know, screw you. Like, you know, like, I don't know where you're at. And I went back inside. So I'm like, I gotta go. And she was just like, okay. Are you coming back? I'm like, probably not.
So wait a minute, you kind of lost me there. Were you at Nikki's place
Yeah.
when Shanann called you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were sleeping in her bed.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to work that day because I didn't have to that day. It was
Okay.
the first holiday I ever had off. And, you know, Shanann was pissed, and, you know, it kind of pissed Nikki off too that I left, but I think that's when I called Nikki later, and she was like, you know, she kind of realized that, you know, she'd always be like, you know, second, she said second fiddle after him. And because that's how I probably would come like that. Just, you know, I don't want to be anywhere else when Shanann calls. She was already pissed. So it was stuff like that where she would she said she would go on like websites and look at like, will a relationship work with somebody, like will a mistress turn into a relationship?
That's what Nikki was looking at?
Yeah.
She would tell you that, or you
She
heard
told
that?
me that.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that she would go on websites and look at stuff like that. I was like, why do you even look at stuff like that? She's like, I just want to see what other people have experienced.
But like, so that confuses me though, because I thought earlier you were saying she thought you were heading toward a divorce. So why was she looking at herself as a misfit?
This was later on.
Oh,
Like, you know, in August, like first week of August, when I told her, like, you know, I hadn't had that talk with her about separation, that's when, like, she would start looking at, like, apartments and stuff. But, like, during our July relationship type thing there,
Oh, I see.
that's when she was looking up, like, you know, what actually were.
Okay.
She told her friend Brittany about it, I guess, and Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she already married.
Okay. And so, are those people absolutely wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family?
No.
Are you sure? Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or...
She never, I mean, this whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she didn't want me to.
I mean, was it ever like, I wish you didn't have kids, I want to have, you know, kids of my own with you, like...
She never knew if she wanted to have kids, but she said that, you know, at one point she said, I'd like to give you a son.
Did she know that Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
No.
Did she know Shanann was pregnant?
No.
And why is that? You just didn't tell her?
I didn't know. Like, because we had met.
But Shanann put that on Facebook. Like, how did she not see
I
that?
don't know. Maybe she didn't. She just was waiting for me to tell her, or she put it out of her head.
Can I ask you a question? A lot of people think you go after Nikki. So what was that?
Nico was actually a name that Shanann liked.
Shanann thought of that one?
Yeah, I wanted to spell it like N-E-K-O. I thought it was like Nico that way. But she said N-I-C-O, and I thought it was like, Nico or something.
Okay.
I guess Nico is more of like an Italian name.
Italian, yeah.
So, and like she did leave for, you know, my middle name, my dad, and all that. But like Nico is like, that's the name that she always liked.
Did she name all the kids? She named Bella and Celeste?
Yeah, Bella, because Italian means beautiful. Marie, mom's middle name. Celeste is her grandmother's name. Catherine's Shannon's middle name.
Did you have any input in their names?
I was like, if we had a third child, you know, I was gonna, maybe we could have like Lee in the middle name, but you know, I knew like the girls' names. I love those names, so like, that's cool. Especially like with the, you know, you have little nicknames for them, like Belle and Belladine and Cece, obviously. It's good, but yeah, Nico was.
Okay.
Can we go back to the house on the 15th? So, at one point, right when you got back there, Coonrod was there, Officer Coonrod, and Nicole was there, and then you went in the house in there for about a minute or so before you let everybody in. Do you remember what you were doing in there at that time?
I went into the garage,
Right.
and then I ran around and I opened the front door.
Yeah.
Opened the front door for did everybody come in through the garage or the front door?
Everybody can see the front door.
Yeah, so I came in, I went in through there, I came in, opened the front door, and I ran upstairs, and I just like, I was looking around.
Okay. That's after everybody? Did you go around the house at all before you opened the front door? No.
I didn't run around the house. I stayed down on the bottom,
Okay.
bottom floor, and then
Yeah.
went and opened the door.
Yeah. Okay. That's curious.
And I ran upstairs and everybody else, and that's when Nicole's son was on the phone and posed for him, so acting like it was walking through the house.
Shanann had her bra on. Was that normal that she would sleep in her bra?
Every once in a while. I mean, she just got home from the plane. She didn't even take off her makeup or anything. Maybe she was just that tired. But normally, no.
Does it not come off when you guys have sex?
I don't think so. Sometimes she just, you know, keeps her shirt on and she doesn't want me to do anything. It's like, she wants what she wants. She knew what she wanted. That's what she wanted.
Was it just missionary sex?
Yep.
And when her final resting place, was that just naturally what she was wearing? You didn't change her or anything like that? Okay.
Did you have to see any of that stuff? Pictures or anything? No.
That's not true.
Okay.
they said I could. I was like, no, I don't want. I've prayed for those hazmat workers. That I'm sure it was hazmat, right? I have the.
We were part of it.
Yeah. And like,
We were all there.
We were all there.
I'm sorry. Guys, I never wanted to see it. I was afraid that I was about to have to be there. So I never wanted to know what the aftermath was. And they said, like, you know, if this ever got like a preliminary hearing, that I would have to see him just to be prepared and not have a reaction, an initial reaction. But I was like, I don't want to.
Do you feel like your lawyers were fair to you?
Yeah, I mean, they were my only human contact, really.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like, almost like a guidance counselor, almost.
Yeah. Did you feel like you were driving the bus, though, with your decisions you made?
Yeah,
or no?
I was like, there's a lot of things I didn't really know what was going on behind the scenes. Like,
Sure.
maybe there was a lot of things they never told me. Like, like stuff that came out, like, afterwards, like the whole, like, old Nikki Kessinger article in Denver Post and all that kind of stuff. They told me, like, afterwards and everything, but it was, I always felt like anything I was telling them, they were going to do. Like, the whole taking the plea deal and everything, I told them that's what I wanted to do, and they asked me, like, it seems like 100 times, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? Like, once you sign this, like, I guess, like, up until sentencing, I had the time to, like, back out, but, like, they always, even before we walked in the courtroom, like, are you sure? So, yeah, this is it. Okay. They never told me this is what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
They always just said, this is your decision, like, if you want to take this farther, we're, and John said he had all kinds of motions written and all kinds of stuff that were, like, really creative, and because he'd never been in something like this before, and he was ready to fight, and I was just like, I didn't want you to have to do that. Not for me, not for something that the story isn't true. Because it would just only got worse.
Right.
For everybody. For all three of you, for everybody that was involved in it.
Are you still glad you did?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I'd be in prison the rest of my life, but, like, I don't want people to have to keep going through this every day of their lives, knowing that, there's a trial hanging over their head, or, I mean, if it ever got that far, I don't know yet. But, like, I didn't want people to have to relive it every day. Yeah. Did they have to ever see the pictures?
Say that again?
Did they have to ever see the pictures? Frank and Sandy and all that?
No. No, they never saw that.
It's not some things.
They didn't see anything bad.
Okay.
Yeah, we shielded that from them.
That's one thing I just didn't want them to have to see anything or hear anybody talk about anything or any part of it. Or, like, anybody bashed their daughter, like anybody to ruin, like, to hear what, some of my friends had a negative, impact on her, from her, or, like, had a description of her that didn't match, something like that. I didn't want them to hear that either. Like, I didn't want them, like, anybody have to trash her memory. Like, I wanted, like, them to know, like, she's a loving life, she's beautiful, she always helped everybody else, all her friends, her Lucas friends, everybody. I just wanted, I didn't want anybody to take away from what she did.
We tried to get you to say that night, I know, but do you remember that?
I remember, I was just like,
I know you obviously weren't ready to say that.
I know, it's like, like after my dad left, we both came in, like, all right, we got most of the story, let's get to the true story. I'm just like, I just wanted to bang my head against the table.
But in the end, I think you did the right thing. And even though it's hard to hear, there's a lot of people who think you did what you did. I think your whole life has been thinking of others, except for one brief moment. I think you really did think of others when you made that choice. So I personally thank you, right? It would have been hard for the three of us to go through about this hard, and for everyone else about that hard, right?
There's anybody that was family or friends,
right?
And just exponentially harder for everybody.
Yeah. That's the right thing.
So you haven't told your parents what happened, you just told them I'm pleading guilty for a reason?
Yeah, I've told them, like, on the phone, even, because they're still, I don't know.
You should fight it, you should...
They've got letters from, like, Australia, from England, I mean, of, like, the 35C in Colorado and stuff, like, you know, improper counsel or something like that. Infected counsel. And, I mean, some of the stuff they said about, you know, the dry patch, how it's not, like, FDA approved, how it can alter somebody's mind, like, there was some kind of condition, but there's something else they call, like, CPSD, complex, post-traumatic stress disorder, or something like that. Have been, like, some people from England have had it. It's like they've been in an emotionally abusive relationship. So I mean, it's like, you know, some of the little subjects they put in there, like, yeah, I can relate to it, but like it doesn't look up to the fact what happened. So like they've got a lot of support. They've got a lot of hate mail, a lot of phone calls, a lot of, like, you know, stuff like that. I wish they never happened, but they, you know, they give some support, which is good. But on the phone, they still think, you know, there's a chance that I could get out.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to ever think your kid's going away forever. Like,
yeah,
you don't want to fathom that.
They tell me to fight it, like, you know, they don't, not every day, but on their bad days, they'll get a bad message or a bad letter, and then they'll just kind of revert back.
Is it more your mom or your dad?
My mom, she loses it a lot.
Yeah.
On the phone, my dad's usually trying to, you know, like, hey, don't talk about this stuff on the phone with him. Because he's just going to rile you up, and it's going to make him go back to his cell, and he's going to just kind of think about that all night.
Right.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to know what you're telling us today?
I'd rather just tell them myself.
Yeah.
So they're coming. I think they're going to try to make a visit in, like, May or so.
Do they still think that Shanann killed her?
They still believe that, even though I told them I'm still guilty for a reason, but they think that I was, their words, like, railroaded by Louis.
Yeah.
Because they, you know, they felt like they pressured me to do it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that? No.
No, they asked me plenty of times. This is like, you know, they wanted to fight. Like, they were, if I said fight, they would have just, you know,
Thrown their gloves?
yeah, just went in there and did it. You know? It's like, no, I can't have you do that.
So Chris, you care about others deeply. I can tell. You worry about others. And I've asked you, you know, a bunch of times today, but you're not just telling us that you did it because you feel bad for Shanann's memory. You did it? Okay.
I have to say, like, you know, after this was all over, you know, people would bring up, like, oh my gosh, I bet you're going to find out that Chris, you know, used to torture animals and, you know, all this stuff. You can imagine, like, you know, hearing that someone's capable of that, what have they done in their past, those kinds of things. Can you think back to your past at all, like your childhood, and think about any other moments that maybe you felt the same rage? I mean, obviously you didn't do anything like that, but maybe you felt that rage and, like, what would have triggered that or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, I was always, like, somebody that tried to coax people down, not to, like, if somebody wanted to fight somebody else. I think I got in a fight, like, when I was in 3rd grade, but it was like, you know, we ripped each other's shirt and I went crying. You know? It was, like, stupid. I was like, why did I do that? And, like, maybe that was, like, my only, like, bad thing I did in school. So I can't think of it.
Did you feel it on the inside, whether you didn't act it out? Like, did you feel like if someone bullied you at school or if someone whatever, like, would it still be inside you? Like, did you feel like that even though you didn't actually act on it?
Probably, because I was always, you know, I never really talked to many people. So I mean, people knew who I was, but they didn't really, I never really spoke to many people. That's why I never had a girlfriend in high school. I mean, I was always kind of like, just under the radar.
Did you feel like you had low self-esteem?
I won't say low self-esteem. It was just like I didn't want to be a part of, like, a group or a clique. I just, like, you know, I had a couple friends and sat at a lunch table with them, or sat out in, they call it, like, the fish pond area, and, you know, just chilled out there. And I didn't really want a whole lot of friends. It's kind of like just close knit. And I just just wasn't out there. I mean, like I said, people knew who I was, but it wasn't a matter of like I wasn't popular or anything.
Mhm. Can you attribute that to anything in your childhood? Why you were like
My
that?
sister was always the popular one.
Uh-huh.
She was more like my mom, like more like outgoing, and like me and my grandma would always sit outside in middle school waiting for her to come out and pick her up, and she'd always be the last one out, and she'd talk to everybody at home. And my grandma would always like, where's she at? Does she know me waiting? But, you know, I was just the opposite of her.
Mhm.
And I was like, sometimes you have kids that are like the same, and some of you have opposites. Me and my sister are completely opposite. Maybe I just drew on that I didn't want to be the popular one. I wanted to be just, you know, just a regular guy.
Mhm.
So there was not really like bullying or not like I remember. Nobody ever really came up to me or wanted to fight me or.
You ever got made fun of? Never.
I mean, I had braces and I had like a bowl cut for a while. I guess it could have made big fun.
I think most kids did.
The 80s and 90s are cruel.
Yeah, it's like a Jim Carrey cut that's full on your head. Just waving around, but yeah, I don't think there was anything that would be pent up inside me from
From childhood.
childhood.
I know you talked about your dad having an addiction when I was talking to you.
That was after I left. I left home.
Was it cocaine or something, or?
It was some type of powder. I'm not sure if that
Okay.
was cocaine. I guess
How do you think that affected you?
I don't think it affected me well, it did affect me, but it just didn't like take like deep down. It didn't like really hurt as much as I thought it would. It was kind of weird because when my thing with my mom and my sister told me, like when they talked to me about it, it didn't seem to register. Like I said, like he would just change subject, and like when I talked about it, he immediately changed subject. I was like, because they found like, you know, cuts on his like CDs and stuff where he would like, you know, like separate it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Car dealership, I mean, find guys that do that kind of stuff all the time, I guess. But he was just coping with like, I never came back home, and that's before I met Shanann, and it was just.
Did you feel guilty that he's now using drugs because he never came back home, like he lost his kid?
No, I never really knew why he was doing it. After the fact, I knew it was because he was coping with that, but I never knew why he really actually turned to drugs. My mom thought he was having an affair because all this money was going somewhere else just for the drugs, but like I'm not myself, I never used drugs, so I always try to tell him like, hey, like what's going on, like why do you need to use this, and it's like you could using this for a whole lot better things, you know, just don't throw your life away. I mean, like, because you could see in his face, like, you know, it's like eyes were like everything was getting like, you know, like the blood through your face, and like his skin was getting all loose, and like he was losing a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
His nose was bleeding all the time, and all kinds of stuff like that. And I was telling him like, hey, you know, you smoke like every day of your life since you're like 15 or 16, and like, you know, I can't get you to stop that, but I get you to stop this.
Right.
And he put it away, I guess, pretty quick after I talked to him about it.
Do you think you were closer to your dad than your mom? Yeah.
Yeah, we always went to races together, and you know, he always came to my sports, played a couple school sports, right ball, all that kind of stuff. You know, my mom would come too sometimes, and my dad was always there. Even if I wasn't playing, he'd just come there just in case I can't win in there.
Oh.
So that's cool.
Yeah. Well, I wondered if they hadn't visited because they weren't ready to visit, or if it was a money thing, or you know, like
Is it here?
getting the
Or?
time off.
No.
Yeah, you. Like,
Is it here?
yeah, visit here.
Well, I just told him like, we can't drive in the snow, so it's not, you know, I don't want.
These roads are bad.
Yeah, it's I think it's like an hour from either Madison or Fort River,
Yeah.
the way it is. I told him like wait until springtime.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal.
It was yesterday.
Did they have money to get here?
They sold my toolbox to get some money to come out here.
Okay.
So yeah, so they'll come out here in like they said April, but I was like, no, just maybe push it till June. They said they can have a blizzard out here in April.
Yeah,
Like
a late spring blizzard, yeah.
so lake effect stuff. Crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And how are you doing mentally?
I mean, the first time when I first came, I didn't know I was coming here. Obviously, I mean, when I was at BRDC, like
Spooked you up, didn't you?
I was there a week. Like first day I got there, they put me through the ringer. Like I I had like 11 tests to do, like mental tests, like reading, math, all kinds of stuff to see where my IQ was, and then I just sat there the rest of the week, and then Sunday came along, and after dinner they said, all right, strip down and put this on. Like, okay. And then walked outside and put me in the van, and it's like, good. I had no idea what was going on. And then we stopped in Sterling, which really freaked me out. I was just like, I don't want to do this, because I heard so many horror stories about that place. And they just stopped to use the bathroom, and then we kept going.
In the prison? Do they use the bathroom at the prison?
Yeah, it was like at the watchtower outside.
Oh.
And we went to Nebraska, sheriff's office there, and then another sheriff's office in Iowa. Used the bathroom, eat breakfast, and then got here. I asked him, I only talked to him once. I'm like, can you tell me, like, where we're going? Like, just the destination state? He's like, I don't know. So it was like one of those, like, transport vans, like, where it was, like, at just the middle where I was sitting there, and I could see out the window, and I could see, like, they would put in an address each time. Like, they had, like, 4 sets of addresses to each one they had to go to. They just would never tell me where we were going to end up.
What did they say your IQ was?
I was like 140, 35 or something like that.
Is that high? I don't even know what it is.
That's good. That's about average.
Yeah. Yeah, it was took me back to high school for real. I'm like,
Playing parts of the city and all that stuff.
yeah, there was a lot of word problems, a lot of like geometry, a lot of like, you know, patterns, like if this was moved this way, and then there was like a series of them, like, all right, what's this one gonna be? Just a lot of stuff like that, but like the further you got along, the harder it got, and I was just like great. And it was like they give you this little take that pen and take the little tube out in the middle, and that's where you're using to fill in your little Scantron sheets and everything. So I went to high school again.
Do you know how long you're going to be here? Neither do I, by the way. And do you know, are you going to get a job?
Since I'm staying here, or since I've got staffed here, they have to work.
Oh, so what's your job now?
I don't have one yet.
Okay.
They haven't moved me out of the acceptance and evaluation
Are you still in that phase? Okay. And how long will that take?
So right now, like, since I've been staffed here, I'm just waiting for them to move me over to a different unit.
And are you in Gen Pop right now?
No, I'm in a unit. There's like 11 or 12 of us on there. There was like 22 when I first got there, but they've been transferred to the other prisons around.
And what are the other guys like?
They're fine. Like the first time, like I sat out and ate like a breakfast or lunch, and I was
Are you nervous? Scared?
I was just like, this hasn't happened, like, you know, since, you know, I just never happened.
Yeah.
Like I said, they locked the hallways down when I moved to Colorado.
Well, I heard that. Yeah.
So it was like, you know, being next, like, right like this, eating next to somebody, I was just like, you're going to, like, take a sport and try to stab me or something, or what? But it's totally different here. I mean, people know who I am, but, like, they don't, like, you know, run at me or jump at me or, like, apparently they, the guys that work here, they know that, I guess, other maxes are, like, you can lock down, like, 23, 22 hours a day.
Oh, so then this isn't all right place to be?
For, like,
Max
other
players?
max guys.
Good.
They said it's the best max, but the worst medium.
Oh.
Because if you're max, you're working, so you're, you know, out at your cell working, like, you know, if you're a clerk or if you're in the kitchen or if you're in the rec area, you're doing something.
Okay.
But, yeah, they said, like, if you get staffed here, it'll be best for you. Plus, they say it's not as, like, rowdy as some of the other places.
Yeah.
Pretty intense.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I'm going to the GP area, I just don't know when.
And you think it'll be while you're here? Okay.
Yeah, they said, like, I guess it could take, you know, it takes a while to get moved from max to medium, because in Colorado I was classified as minimum restrictive, but with the charges it would have been medium, but here it's automatically max.
And what are the other guys in for, you know?
They said most guys in here are for, like, gang snitches and sex offenders, and mainly people that have 20 years or more.
So people who were in for a long time and who would otherwise have a pretty hard time at a jail.
Yeah.
for whatever they did, whether it be snitching or
Yeah, like, you know,
children or...
yeah, there's some people from other states here as well, and I guess there's a couple cops here too.
Okay.
It's, you know, just things have happened, and they just don't think it'd be better. It'd be a lot better if they're here and not in another prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of jobs are available? I mean,
Well, it's like they'll probably have me as in the kitchen more than like that's where everybody starts out, like either washing dishes or like, you know, putting food on the trays or helping, you know, pots and pans, something like that. But they have like libraries, they have like, you know, I think this is the PSU area, the psych area, so they'll have like different guys doing clerk stuff around here. I mean, they have over like 300 GP guys here that are like live here, so they have a job for every one of them. There's even a guy that shovels the sidewalks.
Good for him.
yeah, I saw him, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be that guy.
Not here.
Do you go to therapy? Do you see a psychologist? Do you...
There's actually the one I, her name's like Javier or something like that. She seems like once a month. And she's actually from Aurora.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. I walked in, I saw a Bronco flag. I'm like, okay, who are you? But yeah, it's.
So does she give you therapy, or?
No, she just like talks to me just to see if I need anything, or if like if I need psych meds, or if I need anything like that, which I declined all that stuff. But most people in my unit have meds.
Just to have them, or do you think they need them?
Well, it's like a special management unit. Like they just put me on there to keep me away from GP. And like most people either like just have like some type of medication they're on.
So you don't take anything?
No. They just keep me on there until security advisor says, you know, you can get moved to GP down the hall.
What kind of stuff, like food and stuff, do you miss the most from the outside?
Food?
Yeah.
Well, I know from, you know, my last time in North Carolina, Bojangles, that was really good. I don't know if you guys ever go to North Carolina? Or no?
Is that barbecue?
It's chicken and biscuits.
Mm.
And that barbecue place down the street from PD. Forget what.
Smokehouse,
Yeah.
George Boys.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the burn ends, I miss that. And just, you know, I miss Stan's cooking, that's for sure. Like her spaghetti sauce and her fried pizza.
Fried pizza?
I've never heard of that. What is that?
Never heard of that.
Her mom has, or I think it was her grandmother, her mom's side, had this like it was this dough, homemade dough you can make, and just make up the dough, and she would make it up with Bella and stuff sometimes. It's like a little smaller one, but she would make the really big one, and then she would put it in the oven, the bottom oven, and let it sit there for a couple hours, not put it on or anything, just let it rise. And then once it's done, take it out, form it, throw the spaghetti sauce you have, spread it around, and fill the mozzarella and pepperoni and put it on the oven 350. And
But what part of it is fried though?
well, they have some parts that you put on the grill. You can put on the
Okay.
stove too.
Okay.
It's really good. I mean, it's really thick.
Yeah.
So you got.
Apparently we need this.
Yeah.
Sandy.
I will work on that.
Yes. Write a note.
Yeah.
Are you able to stay out of trouble here?
Yeah. No.
Nobody's getting any fights? You're not getting police up or anything? You're not getting...
I try to keep a low profile here, so I don't want to. Because they say if you get like 2 contact reports, they'll ship you out if you work here. Yeah.
To another location?
Yeah.
Oh, so then, does that incentivize people to their nose down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I guess a couple guys got busted for having a cell phone.
So,
How we got it there?
No kidding.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff just baffles my mind, how that stuff gets to...
I mean, they won't even let, like, if somebody sends me a letter and it has, like, even, like, someone sent me a Christmas card with glitter on it. They'll let me have it because it's glitter. Because, like, it's contraband. So, like, yeah, I don't have people get cell phones and stuff in here.
So what do you do with all these letters that are coming into you?
Most of them, like, I just have, like, this, if somebody writes me once, I'll never write them. Just because I don't know, like, who they are, like, where they're from. I'll keep it. If it's like a weird letter, I'll straight up throw it away. If it's like a supportive letter, I'll keep it around just like, you know, a supportive letter. And then like I've had some people like write me like a second and third time, but they've changed the way they talk, or like they've said different things. Like there's like this dude in like California that really made he's a senior in high school, and wrote. He's like, okay, dude. I look at the name, like, okay, shut it up, threw it away. He wrote me again like 2 weeks ago. Totally different. Like, never mentioned like his age, never mentioned his study. Like, hey, like I support you. I'm like all this, like that. Like, if I didn't recognize his name, I would have known like he was just some 18-year-old kid, senior, trying to just like probably just get information. Trying to, you know, because there's been like journalists and like other people like you could kind of tell like they ask a lot of questions. So I tried to like take into effect who's writing me and like just not to respond. Like, I've responded to a few people just because like either my parents have talked to them on the outside and then I kind of know, okay, it's a real person.
Oh.
But like there's some people that like it seems like they're just trying like to get help for themselves too. Like some people ask like, you know, like just spiritual advice.
They're asking for spiritual advice from you.
Yeah, like, you know, if they're not asking about the case, I'll write them back. If they ask about the case, I'll write them back.
You think you'll be in love again? There's a lot of women out there that are in love with you.
No. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not the guy that's down the street going to do whatever it is. I've heard enough about that guy.
What have you heard about him?
The guy engaged over a letter?
He did, yeah.
That's pretty insane. But yeah, I don't see myself being in love ever again.
Do you have some ladies that are giving you a lot of, like, telling you that they're in love with you and that kind of stuff?
Well, I've had a couple letters that have been like, you know, I hear you get a lot of letters from lady friends that tell you all you need to know. I'm like, I don't get those letters. Trust me, like I guess there was one letter in Colorado, someone sent me a picture of them in the Jeep, and then it's like went on from there. That was like the only letter I ever got. That was like that. But the press took it and just went with it.
Yeah. Did you ever get requests from the press?
Mm-hmm.
And how does that work?
Just tear it up and throw it away.
So are you personally are declining?
Well, I don't like, you know, kind of back.
Would they allow you to talk with them? Would they allow men here to talk with you?
I don't know. I guess some stations have asked to come in here and talk to me, but they have told them no.
Oh.
But I've gotten letters from like, you know, Denver stations and whatnot wanting to talk to me. And then quotation ones off the record. I'm like, yeah, right. Anything I write.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just tear it up, throw it away.
Have you thought about, like, writing a book or anything like that?
No, that's nothing like that. My mom and dad, sorry, what was it?
No, go ahead.
My mom and dad was saying maybe you should like write down like how you feel or like, you know, how you've been dealing with this type thing. Just write it down and that would be my story, but I'm just like, I'm not right. That's not me. I mean, I've always had a really crazy imagination. So like when I was a kid, like I even convinced my teacher I went to Japan over the summer or to China or something. But she said, you know, like, you know, you should just write down, like, you know, your story, like, how you cope with this.
Why did you convince your teacher you had gone to another country?
It was just, like, what you did over the summer. And I was like, oh, China. I'm just over there. And she actually believed it. I was really convincing.
So you're a smart dude.
Yeah. It was, and the parent-teacher conference said, so how was China? Nope.
Earlier you were talking about how experience you're going to want to help people. What do you mean by that?
So like there's a couple letters that I've gotten. Like this one girl, she's in like an abusive relationship and she just can't find a relationship like with God. And like I never read the Bible before all this. Like in Gulf County I read it because, you know, in the segregation hole there, it was like that was the book I got. And I was like, okay. I read it cover to cover, and I never thought I could, being how many pages are in the Bible, but it stuck with me, and like I've been reading it more and more here. Like I got a different version here. I've just been reading it and just writing down like a couple scriptures a day, like to give my mom and my dad. And they've been like making a little journal and stuff like that. And my Uncle Johnny and his wife Martha, they're actually missionaries, and and one of my cousins is actually as well, and they've been helping my mom and dad, and they looked at a couple of my letters, and they were amazed at how mature I've gotten with like the Bible and everything, the scripture, and it's just like one gift that I did get was a good memory, as far as like being able to memorize stuff, right? And like that's what happened with cars and with the oil fill. I can memorize acronyms like that, and I've been memorizing a lot of different scripture. I can just kind of like help people that way. And just like there's been inmates that have left my unit and went to a different place and have written me just to ask like, you know, can you give me a couple of scriptures to help me through this? Like, do you know of any? I can help somebody that way. Yeah, that's good.
Do you get to go to school or anything?
They don't have any of those programs here.
Or they don't?
It's a acceptance or evaluation prison, so they don't. I think this is when they have the sex offense class here.
Mm.
That's the only thing they really have.
Are you going to go to that?
No. No, I always ask, like, why do people go in there? And they're like, you don't want to go in that class.
You stay away from that
Okay.
class.
I'm like, okay. Yeah, that's the only thing they have here, but they have other, like, that's like the map of the prisons they have here.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier.
Oh, wow.
They have a lot here.
Like 3 right in this area.
Yep, they're around here. I was just amazed that one thing I did see out the window when there was like a neighborhood that's right next to the prison. Yeah, so it's like, that's
Insane.
yeah, weird. Because like in Colorado, it seemed like they're all like out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Sterling's in the middle of it.
Yep.
Okay. Easy.
Well, we might take a little break right now.
I think it's almost time for you to eat lunch.
Yeah.
Make 20 minutes.
Yeah, felt like the polygraph. Everything just like. I look up the time. I'm like, oh wow.
This was 4 hours. Here we go.
They might let us come back and talk to you. There might be a couple more things you want to go over. If that's something you're up for.
That's fine.
Okay. And then the other thing is, we might be back in a month and a year and 2 years, if you're up for it. Now that's way down the road, but I guess maybe in the back of your mind, just think about that. And I hope so far today's been all right for you.
Yeah, it's been. Honestly, when I walked in, I was just like, wait, I know these
Where do I know
people.
these guys?
I looked at you. I'm like that's not strike counselor. That's oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
They're Colorado people.
So then past that A&E sergeant, I was like, all right, who am I meeting? I like, oh, it's not the A&E sergeant.
Yeah. So there's a possibility we might not make it back today. I just want to let you know, but
Okay.
we might. We really appreciate you talking to us.
Thanks for coming. Took me off guard. I had no idea this was happening.
Yeah. And again, this isn't it. Your case is over. It's closed. So that's not what today's about. We really appreciate it. You know a lot of things really well. Really good. Made a lot of good decisions. And obviously we're here because of just one bad decision, but I think that you've taken steps to get past that. So yeah, we might come back after everyone has lunch. That's all right. That's fine. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna go see if I can grab somebody.
So that's what you guys plan to do.
I think I had the better drive.
I think you probably did, too.
Mine was like 50 minutes. Theirs was like 2 hours.
Yeah,
It's snowing. It's pretty nasty
Lake
out there.
effect.
Yeah, the wind's blowing.
Not like wind like Colorado then.
It was a hell of a lot colder.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, the roads aren't getting cleared like they would get cleared in Colorado. I think they just have so much.
Yeah,
You know,
it just
that,
comes in and just dumps.
yeah.
Colorado just melts within a couple hours.
Right.
Here, honestly, I haven't seen it melt here since I've
Well, that's the thing. Everyone's
Yeah,
houses are just tiled, you know, like, oh, it's the next snow, and they just pass it on top. So it doesn't look like anything melts.
No.
It's the problem. So.
Okay.
Do you guys go outside for rec or anything, or?
No, not when it has to be over 50 degrees.
Oh, you won't be out for a while.
No, they have like a like a little basketball court down the hall from where my unit is, so we get there about 5 days a week for like 40 minutes.
Nice.
So it's a good chance to just get out and just run around a little bit,
Mhm.
stretch your legs a little bit.
Yeah.
Any weights or anything you can use?
Yeah, there's some weights in there. We go with another unit, and they're the infirmary unit that goes with us, and most of them are like in wheelchairs and whatnot.
Mhm.
So we're kind of like, I just let them do. I don't want to get in the way. Just like let them like they have like the pull downs and the lats and all that kind of road machine and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, but I think they have like a track or something like that you can run around once we go outside.
Mhm.
Colorado, they let you go outside. Like, I never went outside, but like at the DRDC, they just said, "Do you want to go outside? Let's go outside. That's cold."
Buyer beware.
It was like, "You want to wreck today?" You're like, "No." Like, no, it's like 30 degrees outside. You can go outside if you want. It's like, okay. But their version of wreck was like they put you out in a little cage and let you like kind of walk around for a little bit
Yeah.
at DRDC. It was a little different there.
If we don't want to come back, I just want to let you know, I talked to your dad the other day,
Okay.
and just to get your property released to him.
Oh, that phone and stuff?
Yeah, your
Okay.
phone and what else?
Wallet.
Your wallet.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have some other things too, so. But I have to wait for the DA to release all that stuff and
Okay.
red tape crap.
Gotcha.
But then we'll send it off to him.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I know you wanted my phone, just so there's
Yeah.
a lot of pictures on there.
That's what he said.
I think I had that phone for like 2016, so there's a good amount on there.
Yeah.
If we don't make it back today, it's going to be because of some of their scheduling. It's not that we don't want to talk to you tomorrow, it's just fine. There's more things we can talk about.
Okay.
But if we don't make it back, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, it's a holiday, so I figured they'd be pretty much open.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see many people walking through the hallways when I came down here. Usually there's a ton.
Of visitors or what?
No, just a ton of people, just like workers walking up and down.
Oh, I
Pretty
see.
sparse.
Yeah, it is sparse, isn't it?
Mhm.
That's one thing I was shocked about when I walked around here. I was always used to seeing everybody in handcuffs walking around the hallways. Here,
That is interesting, right? I thought the same thing. I couldn't tell who was who.
yeah, it's like you
Can't necessarily
you
tell.
you see the red tag, it's like an inmate, but somebody else, somebody lives here.
Oh.
Or like somebody that's like actual civilian that works here.
So then you're not in shackles and handcuffs that often?
I haven't been since I got here.
You're kidding. Huh.
That's why I was amazed. I was like, when the guy took me in the hallway, I was like, anything? No, just keep walking.
Yeah.
That's my flight constable saying, this isn't Max when she first got here. It's like, no, it's like Max or something. It's just like, you know, if you want to act up, they'll put
Well,
you
use
in.
it. You'll earn those shackles back.
Oh yeah, they'll put you in handcuffs, take you to the hole,
Yeah.
and then they'll ship you out of here.
They have a solitary here?
Oh yeah, they'll strap you out to the bed.
Oh, yeah.
Can't move.
Yeah.
A reminder of, behave, right?
Yeah, it's like don't
Not that you need it,
don't
but-
pass food, don't pass anything that's not yours. Otherwise, you're gonna.
Do you get to buy like commissary and stuff?
It's different here. It's like a bubble sheet instead of like Colorado. It's like a little touch screen you do.
Uh-huh.
But here it's like a little Scantron. You send it off to like Missouri, and it's the same company, but it just takes longer to get here.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Like what kind of stuff can you buy?
like ramen soup and peanut butter and oatmeal, like lemonade mix, stuff like that. I usually just get the oatmeal and the ramen soup.
Do your parents put money on your books then?
Yeah, I'm not sure how like that restitution stuff's gonna work. I'm sure like that'll like whoever sent the money on the canteen will probably like it'll take a little bit of it too.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right.